34 felonies, I might add.
You know what? Now that we're on that topic, let's talk about Trump's unfair trial, shall we? Do you want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great.
Okay.
Recap really quick.
Fine.
So the trial centered around an incident in 2017,
right,
where Trump sent hush money to his lawyer, Michael Cohen, to then send to Stormy Daniels, who they were allegedly having an affair, right?
Can you get to your point?
So in the state of New York, that is actually a misdemeanor, not a felony, but the state of New York claimed that Trump falsified business records because he sent 34 payments, monthly payments, to Michael Cohen, hence 34 felonies, as a legal expense, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
I'm following.
So they also claimed that that wasn't for that reason, and that he actually sent it to Stormy Daniels to help out with his campaign as a campaign expense, hence falsifying business records.
And your point being?
So this is the weird part. Really pay attention to this, seriously.
I'm listening.
So there's a thing called the statute of limitations, which means you can't be convicted of something after a certain amount of time. And in the state of New York, that's 2 to 5 years.
Okay, so what? Why does that matter?
Well, 2017 is a little bit longer than 5 years.
Yes, I can do the math.
You don't find it at least a little bit strange, just a little bit,
What?
that all of this seemed to happen right before the election? That's not a little weird to you?
What I'm hearing is that you don't want to admit he's a felon.
That's what you got from that?
Yep.
To be clear for the haters, yes, I am somewhere in the middle, and I make these videos to educate people on the facts, not feelings. Love me or hate me, I still think you're awesome.
Excuse me, are you a Trump
Clear the
supporter?
air lane.
Somewhere in the
Clear
middle.
Wow.
the air lane for the big broadcast.
Well, love me or hate me, at least I hope you think I'm awesome. There's one for me. Welcome to Happy Hour, News Talk 93.1 WACB for Wednesday, middle of the week. Pamela Dubuque, Master Thespian are here.
And here they are.
So how's everybody?
Good. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad for Wednesday. Just chilling, on some errands. Was way
I'm at GNS. Yeah. All I asked for was a bag of holes. There's 12. I can spread those out through the day. That doesn't make them any more healthy.
Yeah.
But these little sugar bullets give you a boost, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I did a little video with Karen Tom over there this morning. And
really good.
yeah, 1,600 views.
Wow.
I should probably play it. But she didn't give me a bag of holes. She gave me a box of them. I may or may not have had more than I planned this morning, but I went out in this ridiculous heat and did 5 miles on the bike. And then a funny thing happened. On the way here, after I get all cleaned up and ready to finish the show, I forgot the box of holes was still sitting on the car seat.
Oh.
So I may or may not have had another 8 or 10 for the show. All I know is that my stomach is feeling very happy.
Yeah.
My body is at full sugar alert. And I may or may not have 2 or 3 or more before the end of the show. And there'll still be plenty for tomorrow.
Well, I may take 1 or 2 of them.
I'll bring the box in. I should show these on TV. I want people to see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, don't forget, everybody, we're streaming on YouTube. Happy Hour with Greg Vidal.
Oh, that's right. That's me.
Tune in.
Happy Hour with Greg Vidal. You can watch this on. Of course, most people are tuning in to see Pamela. We've accepted this, and that's fine with me.
There's a good reason for that.
It's a very good. So, what's the story today? I think the New York election is the story.
Yeah. It's a little scary.
And I have just one simple question. What the is wrong with the people of New York? I don't get it.
Did you see the map of how the voting played out?
No.
So, where Wall Street is,
Yes.
all voted for the socialists.
Wall Street?
Isn't that odd?
That's bizarre. Wall Street would never vote socialist. What's the point of making all that money if you're going to give it away to some government?
Well, here's
Whack.
I don't think so.
I don't know what
New York
it
State.
is.
Maybe. maybe some people from other countries. So,
That is the whole question right now, is not.
May I share? Now, look, it is the most important city in the world in many respects, right? And the Democrats have made an Islam, not just the socialists, but an Islam socialist.
and anti-Semite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why almost everybody of Jewish heritage has moved to Florida or anywhere but New York. But David Blackman wrote a blog today that I would like to share, bidding farewell to the because they're already much a condition. It's not just bad city leadership there, but you have a governor who seems determined to hammer a nail into the city's coffin. I like to share it over. Led by the growing plague of leftist white women, and that is true, the so-called suburban housewives somehow cannot differentiate reality and that they hear from these.
Well, they're voting emotion over logic. They're using their feelings and looking at facts.
The Democrats in New York City voted to commit municipal suicide on Tuesday. Initial voting indicates that the elevation of 33-year-old Islamist socialist Zohran Mamdani is being driven by his ability to win basically every majority white precinct in the 5 boroughs, with white women being his most significant basis. By contrast, almost all majority black or other minority precincts went for Cuomo. Former governor was forced to resign that office amid scandals over his depraved leadership during COVID and sexual harassment and abuse. Just a few minor things. Sure, Cuomo's a high-order scumbag, but at least he doesn't want to globalize the Indicata or replace police officers with social workers in high-crime areas like Mamdani wants to do. And didn't they see enough of this in the wake of George Floyd? They tried, drug people should be handled differently than people that are crimes that are cracked up or messed up or whatever they're on. You can't send an untrained social worker to them.
How many other people in this primary? I saw a graphic, I think it was Fox yesterday, about like 20 people in this primary. I think that may have been a factor as well in why he got more votes than anybody else, because there were people voting for all these different candidates, and he just had a lot of people mobilized to go vote for him.
Oh, there were a lot.
I laughed out loud when I watched an interview with a 35-ish white woman in Manhattan's Upper East Side. This dimwit told the reporter she felt safe voting for Mamdani because his worst instinct would be held in check by the members of New York City Council.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah, it's stunning to know that people like her haven't the slightest clue to what her city council is populated with. A variety of grifters, race hustlers, and mental midgets who collectively are more dangerous than before. I have not so fond memories, says David Blackman, of writing in my previous blog my belief that no matter which candidate prevailed in Big Apple's 2021 election, New Yorkers could possibly choose a worse or destructive individual for the job than then outgoing Bill de Blasio. His real name is otherwise hard to get. Not that they didn't give the old college try by elevating the utterly incompetent and comically crooked Eric Adams to the post, but Adams proved to be a modest upgrade. At least he made the subways. But, says David, and trust me on this, New Yorkers are about to install a guy into that job who will make de Blasio and Wilhelm seem like a saint by comparison. Should a general election in November over Republican nominee Curtis Sliwa, Mamdani will wreak unprecedented havoc on this once great declining city. Sadly, Mamdani's ultimate victory is a near certainty. The chances of electing a Republican to the job are so slim that Sliwa, a good man, but one who has already failed in his last 2 attempts, ran unopposed for this cycle's nomination. Should he win 30% of the vote in a two-way race, it would represent a huge moral victory. In his concession speech last night, Cuomo briefly mentioned the possibility he might mount an independent run in November, raising the potential for a 3-way race in which either Cuomo or Sliwa might attract reality. That's an interesting thought, given the city's rule, would not require a runoff if no one candidate wins a majority. But assuming Cuomo stays out of it and Mondani prevails, the consequences are entirely predictable. A huge immediate increase in the city's crime rate, a steady decline in core city services as Mondani and the city council shift budget dollars to their pet identity politics and projects, a mass exodus of wealthy individuals out of the city to places like Florida and Texas, accelerating a trend which has already been ongoing for 5 years. This will, of course, include many of the depraved leftist white women who will quickly come to regret their own stupidity once Mondani gets going. A mass exodus of businesses again to lower tax, lower regulation states like Florida and Texas. A rapid decimation of the city's tourist and convention industry as the city follows fellow Democratic-run cities into the same sort of dystopian hellhole, all of which will accumulate to create a mushrooming city budget deficit. Prior to COVID, my wife and I made regular trips to New York City. As David Blackman, we have always enjoyed Broadway shows and also loved to take in the city's tourist attractions and cultural life. That ended in 2020 because we could clearly see the direction the city would go under de Blasio and Cuomo's ham-handed direction. We initially had held out some hope that Adams, a former cop, would make a restoration of public safety his main focus, and the city would eventually become a place we were willing to visit again. Obviously, that didn't happen under Adams. And now the likely elevation of Mondani means it never will, at least in our remaining lifetime. So that's a shame. But New Yorkers, whether they understand it or not, have chosen the terrible fate for themselves now. They will always have fond memories. We will always have fond memories of our trips to New York, but the time has come to bid the Big Apple farewell for good. That is all. It's,
And as a theater guy, that's the thing I worry about. Broadway theater is considered a pinnacle of performance in America. And if the people stop coming, the shows will have to shut down. But they have to have ticket sales and keep going.
And tickets are ridiculous.
Oh, they're awful. Yeah.
They're just beyond absurd. I went to a lot of Broadway shows in the 80s and 90s, and they were expensive then.
Well, they're even more expensive now. They're just a regular fee.
The biggest crime, it's like AOC. How will the people in her district, which is going to hell, in the expressway, but she's so focused on climbing up her political ladder, either to upend Chuck Schumer, God forbid, run for president. Why don't they hold these people accountable? They get the benefit of their brainless vote, turn around, do what everybody else knows they're going to do, which is make things worse, and then they get rewarded instead of punished. It makes no sense.
Well, I think there's two things at play. One is short-term memory. You can forget. You forget what's going on. You forget what other people are dealing with. They're just focused on their own life. And that's the second one, is survival. So many people are just focused on making it day to day to day that they don't have time to listen and do research and find out what's going on in the outside world. So they don't know. They don't know what's going on. And then when it comes time to vote, they're like, oh, why should I vote? My vote's not going to count anyway.
Yeah, what's your name?
And that's the problem, I think, with the voting there in New York, is that Republicans feel like no matter what they do, they're not going to win.
I don't understand it. To live in New York, especially Manhattan, but really Brooklyn, all of it,
Queens,
most of Queens, you got to make a lot of money. I mean, it costs you $20 just to drive across a damn bridge to go to work. How do you do that? If you drive, you are looking at $50 or more a day to park. That's almost $500 a week just to get to work. So how much are you making there that you can afford to do this? I don't understand.
Well, housing is insane. You know, apartments, getting a 1-bedroom apartment is going to easily cost you $2,000 a month.
That's for a small one.
Under 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Much smaller.
So you automatically are going to have to be making $24,000 just to have a place to live. If that, and some.
But then if you want to eat.
There you go.
it's just I don't get it. There are things that just baffle me, and you would think people that live there that really want to stay there would be voting for a plan that's not going to add more taxes and further restrict their freedoms. Because that an Iranian socialist, are you kidding? What kind of freedom do you think you're going to get from him? They'll be arresting people for social media posts and stuff before you know it.
Which will then contribute to the people exodus, that doing that mass exodus out of New York. More and more people are going to leave. And I'm curious to see what Fox News is going to do if that guy gets elected mayor. Are they going to stay, have a presence in New York, or are they just going to get out?
You know what? That would be one way to make a statement. And Sean Hannity left New York.
You've got other businesses that have left New York.
He works from Fort Myers, I believe.
Yep.
Charlotte's our first call at 272-9228.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
I was calling about the mayoral race discussion that you're having right now.
Sure.
Eric Adams was interviewed this morning. He said he'd been up all night with receiving phone calls. And he said that, first of all, one key factor that you've not mentioned is that he is running as an independent in the general election. And he said that there are 1 million plus independent voters in New York, and he feels pretty confident that he can beat this socialist.
You know, I think there's a possibility he can win, in spite of some of the things that have gone on in his office, like people that I guess he trusted, like in the police department, the chief police guy was giving
The overtime scandal.
the overtime, to somebody he was, using his nightstick with. Well, I mean, but he won't be the first and the last politician or man who
did the horizontal mumbo.
And whose nightstick overruled his primary brain.
Well, considering the choice between Eric Adams and the other guy, I think Eric Adams is definitely the lesser of two evils.
Isn't that sad though? That's your choice, the lesser of two evils. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Charlotte.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Let's not forget that somebody in the DOJ or Trump, they withdrew that charge. They arrested Adams, but that case was withdrawn. It wasn't tried or anything. There was just
it was a political move. It was a political move to try to get him to step down and get out.
Or maybe it was a political move to keep him in, given what the options are.
But he stayed strong, and he said, "We're going to fight this." He didn't back down, and I think ultimately that helped his situation. So
we can only hope.
Yeah.
My goodness. And we got to keep an eye on the Live in Fear Doppler as.
I know these pop-up storms, I think, are going to cruise through here.
Well, Rich warned us yesterday.
Lots of clouds out there.
They're talking 5 p.m., but they look like they might be showing up a little bit sooner. That were level 2 severe risk. What is on the Live in Fear Doppler at the moment? Nothing, but boy, and they're, by the way, they're going to be coming from the east this afternoon, not from the west or south.
Oh,
really?
Different.
Yeah.
That is weird.
And you will see, let me just give you a little bit of a time frame here.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pulling up my app right now. Rich Thomas's pretty face on it. Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, it looks to me.
Yeah, that looks.
Well, we do have Baumhauer's after the show tonight. We do hope you come and join us over there for food, fun, and camaraderie. Our weekly gathering is always nice. And if you've never been, we always love to welcome new folks and make it comfortable.
Yep.
And I may.
Familial.
Yes, I may go berserk tonight and put out some strawberry shortcake, but I have to make sure the freezer over there is, this incredible heat. And I feel sorry for anybody. I knew a guy who spent 3 hours in his car yesterday in the driveway because the inside AC, his house was just it was inhabitable.
Ooh, that's bad.
Said, don't you think you should have a Clark's Club membership? You wouldn't be waiting 3 hours for starters.
Yep.
They'll be on the way when you need them, and that's so worth it. Plus, they come out and visit your home twice to make sure your system's not going to quit on you. They clean it, make sure it's draining minimum energy. They save you money in a lot of ways. In fact, it's one of those rare investments that at least partially pays for itself with more efficient electric use. They come out, tune it up, make sure there's nothing going on in any of the major component parts that looks troublesome. They make sure it's clean and running efficiently, and then they come back in the fall when we're ready to go back to cooler weather. The first time you need the heat, you get it, and you don't get a house full of dust, burnt dust that smells like somebody set a belly button on fire and walked away. Plus, anytime you need them for heating, AC, or plumbing issues, you get priority service, and that's valuable. 277-2125, 277-2125, or visit ClarkComfort.com. Their Alabama certification number is 09098. Let's check in with Skipper at 3:30 for our first traffic.
Well, traffic's light to moderate all over the area. Interstates, boulevards, all of our feeder roads in and out of Montgomery. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka reporting light to moderate traffic. Got one minor accident on the books. East Boulevard, eastbound, just past Troy Highway. Please watch out for emergency vehicles there as you head up the hill towards Walmart and on over to Vaughn Road. Keep it here. We'll keep you updated. Up to $10,000 off the last of the 2024 Nissan Z cars at McKenna Nissan. It's worth the drive. McKenna Nissan, exit 212 off I-65 in Clinton. I'm Wendell Chait, Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
News is brought to you by Jack Ingram Nissan. Shop now at jackingramnissan.com.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Another Central Alabama jail has been shut down, this time in Macon County. On Tuesday, Sheriff Andre Brunson confirmed that his jail is uninhabitable and has been closed down. All 42 Macon County jail inmates were moved to Mobile and Shelby County jails. No information on repairs or when the jail will reopen was made available. Montgomery city officials are planning a block party to reduce violence. The Hope and Opportunity Day block party will take place Saturday, June 28th from 11 to 2 at the Restoration Baptist Church. Organizers will provide resources and opportunities for young men to become positive contributors to their communities. Wetumpka city leaders announced 2 more businesses are coming to their new Rivertown Center. Goat, Bar and Grill, and Next Gen Fun Park join Tractor Supply in the development located on the Coosa River Parkway near the sports complex. Construction is expected to begin later this summer with openings targeted for 2026. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
In the market for a used car? Visit jackingram.com to view our selection of luxury, domestic, and imported vehicles. With 8 locations and online at jackingram.com, Jack Ingram Motors is sure to have the perfect car for you.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/radio. That's leaffilter.com/radio.
When you need a renovation without the complications, call 5 Innovations today.
Rub-a-dub-dub, do you have an ugly tub? For those looking to upgrade their bathroom with safety and style, Bath Innovations of Alabama has the perfect solution. Their bathtub to shower conversions and walk-in bathtubs are designed with accessibility in mind, offering easy entry and slip-resistant surfaces for peace of mind. Plus, their stunning mildew-resistant high-strength polymer wall systems add beauty and durability, transforming your space from dull to delightful. Bath Innovations' expert team ensures a quick, hassle-free installation, turning your bathtub into a beautiful, accessible shower that enhances both safety and comfort. Take control of your bathroom safety today. Call Bath Innovations of Alabama locally at 271-2723 or visit bathinnovations.com.
When you need a renovation without the aggravation, call 5 Innovations today.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads, great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage, weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans, also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke. Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
4th of July savings are here at the Home Depot. The grill-in smoker now on special buy for $3 was $5.49. Smoke a rack of ribs or bake an apple pie. This grill is versatile enough to do it all. This summer, no matter how you like your steaks, your barbecues are guaranteed to be well done. Celebrate 4th of July with fast free delivery on select grills right now at the Home Depot. Subject to availability.
Hi, I'm Allison Chandley, Account Executive with Blue Water Broadcasting. Why should you advertise with us? Nearly 90% of people in our area listen to local radio stations more than 14 hours every week. Blue Water is the most listened to group in Central Alabama. Put our stations to work for your business. Contact me, Allison Chandley, by going to bluewaterbroadcasting.com to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing.
Hey, this is Robbie Clark. Stay cool with a spring tune-up with Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. Don't wait. Schedule today. Give us a call at 334-277-2125. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Besides dealing with the extreme heat and humidity, we are also tracking some locally strong storms. They're random, but they can put on quite a show in this kind of heat. They'll be around well into the evening hours before fading out tonight. Overnight low temperature in the muggy mid-70s. Tomorrow and Friday, I've got us in the middle 90s for high temperatures with more pop-up storms. Again, some could be on the strong side. And by the weekend, the heat numbers will ease just a little bit, but still very hot and humid with more pop-up storms. From the AMS Weather Conference in Boise, Rich Thomas for Blue Water Broadcasting.
At CB&S Bank, we've been meeting the needs of our customers since 1906. Need help setting up new business goals? Our line of commercial loans can help you achieve them. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
It's the most uncomfortable time of the year. The temperature's soaring, the sweat it is pouring down the crack in my rear. It's the most uncomfortable time of the year. My lawn it is toasting, the old folks are roasting, don't leave them out in the heat. And it sure is not pretty when your crotch gets all sweaty and perfectly shrink wraps your meat. It's the most uncomfortable time of the year. Well, my yard, it needs wetting. That fat guy is sweating. What's he doing here? It's the most uncomfortable time of the year.
It is 3:37, and it is very uncomfortable. Here's the thing that gets me.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the sky, there's a million clouds.
Right.
Where's the shade? There's no shade. I was out biking in that stuff, and 99% of the time, I was getting roasted alive.
Yeah. Yeah. That is.
But
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I just wonder how that works. I don't get it. No matter what angle you take, which way you go, you see all these clouds above. Where's the shade? Yeah. Is the sun that powerful today that clouds don't block it?
We did have a really high UV index today.
Mm-hmm.
I know that term, but I'm not quite sure what it means.
Ultraviolet, the UV rays. That's
what it
causes
penetrates
your skin to.
Looks like we're spending a lot of time at AMS Studios in the future, kid.
Yeah.
Getting my reckless behavior treated by Pamela Dubuque and the staff at AMS Studio.
Wear a hat.
Oh, I got a hat.
I love my hat.
He has a hat.
You know what I love the hat
for you. See, those of you on YouTube, It is red, white, and blue. It is sparkly. I bought it so he could wear it.
I want to
at,
wear that.
Jay Quellen's.
See, that'll
Jay
never get to
Quellen's
me.
event on July the 4th.
If Pamela likes the hat and wants it, you
Ooh,
know she's
that
gonna
looks
get it.
good.
It really does. I
Like
mean,
a rhinestone
you're freaking American
cowboy.
goddess.
It
with
fits
that
on
thing.
top of my headphones.
What are the commenters saying on this? We should have a little contest with the folks that are watching Happy Hour with Greg Goodell on YouTube.
It shades my face. It makes me look even more pale.
All right, so take a. Hey, there's nothing wrong with pale. That's my favorite color.
Can you reach it?
I want to have a little contest, see who wears it the best. I know I'm going to lose, but I'm a glutton for punishment.
I think you got on backwards.
It's sideways at the very least.
Oh, no, there it is. You got it right. Okay.
That looks better on you.
That looks very festive. Look like you're ready to go round you up some hot dogs.
Nah.
What do you think of how I look?
What are you, 9 years old in 4th grade?
Yeah, lady. My second childhood.
Every day. Every
You
day.
know, when the hat comes in handy, mowing the lawn, doing outside work. Oh
Yeah.
God, it's a godsend. I have shade everywhere I go. Where was I?
I don't know. We were talking about how warm it is out there and how
Yeah.
you can't get shade.
Even
'cause
though
the
it's
sun is
cloudy.
beating down.
Mhm.
I don't know if it has something to do with just the heat quotient that the sun beating down creates heat and that causes the moisture in the air to go other places. I don't know.
All the people Donald Trump has picked to help him run this administration, some have been superstars.
Yep.
And among them, Joey's not going to like this. Rubio.
Rubio.
Marco
Gotta be
Rubio.
over that.
He's getting better. He's liking him. He really enjoyed the fact that Rubio
Is Joey
reacted
warming
the
up
way
to
he
the
did.
Rubio?
I think he is. I think he is.
There's a headline that says Rubio breaks into hysterics as Trump responds to NATO leader calling him daddy.
It was really
It was
funny.
great.
Well, I have the clip lined up.
you need to pull it up.
And
It's-
I think we should play this. I have not heard it yet.
He has tried really hard not to break.
Look
All
at
right.
Trump's fresh tan.
Yeah, he looks very.
He's
manly.
browner than orange.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he is browner.
Yeah, I
than
think the orange
yeah.
man days are over. Let's give this a listen.
It's from Sky News. Mark Rutte, the NATO chief, who is your friend, he called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? He did it very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
Do you regard your NATO allies, though, as kind of like children, and they're obviously listening to you and they're spending more, and you're obviously appreciative of that. But do you hope that actually they're going to be able to defend themselves, defend Europe on their own without?
I think they need help a little bit at the beginning. And
It's from
Okay, that's the entire clip.
That was funny.
Poor Marco Rubio.
Rubio. Yeah, I thought we'd hear his laugh. These things, they never stop on time.
Yeah. Who's your daddy?
She asked him, do you regard them as your
As
children?
children, yeah.
And you don't have to regard someone as your child to say they're acting like children.
Exactly. Which is why he called out both Iran
Yeah,
and Israel the
right.
other day, going, "Look,
They
y'all
don't know what they're
you're
doing. Yeah.
Just please get your act together."
Yes.
Do I need to come in here and just separate you two?
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, essentially, but
yeah,
you consider the president of the United States to be the father figure
Yeah.
for the country. A father figure. Thank you. I can't talk today.
You're
Sorry.
welcome, George Michael.
The father figure for the country. He is the dad.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gone through 4 years of a really, really bad dad.
Mhm.
And now we've got the dad who is the disciplinarian, who
Mhm.
is actively doing things
Yes.
Look,
for
there-
the
there-
good of
Yes.
the country.
There are a lot
Providing
of people.
structure.
There are
Yeah.
a lot of people who are averse to a strong
Yes, they are.
male, a strong dad, or a strong boss.
Yep.
Here's my theory is, and I'm just being honest here. When we meet a new boss,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing we look for is how am I going to play this guy? How easy can I manipulate him? Can I manipulate him?
Mm-hmm.
What? You think that?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, everybody does, because it's the whole idea of, okay, what can I do? How do I need to change what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Can I get away with this? Can I? It's that game we play. It's sort of the social construct.
There are people that struggle with bosses that don't always tell you what you need to know in the nicest way.
Nope.
This is what I mean. But we all want to know how do we ingratiate, because you want to have a good relationship there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Not necessarily fool them into thinking you're something you're not. Just how's this going to play out? You know,
Is this person going to leave me alone and let me do my job, or are they going to be micromanage me the whole way?
But we have not had a president like this. Well, obviously since his first term, but going back to Ronald Reagan, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, you should have heard the gnashing of teeth and people pounding the wailing wall when he told Gorbachev to tear down that wall. Oh, he's trying to start World War III. It's the same people, except this is the grandchildren of the first group.
Well, I would argue that he's doing a better job the second time around because of what happened the first time around. I
Yeah.
think he has surrounded himself with a cabinet that is like-minded and is following what he says.
I bet if you
think that's a
took
big
a
difference.
poll of the Democrats who still have at least 1 foot on the ground in leadership positions,
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet if you polled them today and said, would you have preferred Trump win in 2020? He'd be gone now. He would have had a second term.
Mm-hmm.
Or has it worked out better for you to have cheated Joe into the office, and now Trump is back, stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever to kneecap you and your party and your stupid vision for America?
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet most, if they could wind back the clock, would have said,
We should have let him
should have
win.
let him win.
Yeah.
And by that, I don't mean cheat to let him win. I think he legitimately won.
Yeah.
We just heard yesterday, they have cleared 5 million people from voter rolls that don't belong. Tom Fitton and Judicial Watch accomplished this.
Mm-hmm. That's 5 million votes that
Yeah. And then
Biden won by.
the rest that are going back to their homeland that won't be able to vote. We know there was a ton of that. That was another thing. Should non-citizens be allowed to vote? Why is that even a question?
You're right. Why?
Yeah.
What kind of an asshat wants people that don't live here? Have you ever heard of another country on the planet saying, come here and vote?
No, we don't get to go visit somewhere and vote in the
No.
elections.
Oh, by the way, if you come to Paris in November, we're having a big presidential election. Feel free to
Right.
live it up and vote.
Cast your
And
vote.
in fact, many countries make it very difficult to immigrate and
Yes.
become a
Or if they
citizen.
catch you
Yeah.
trying something like that, you're not getting a slap on the wrist.
No. Nay, shenanay.
You'll be in the bread and water line, the nearest prison.
Well, and if you look at the statistical numbers, because I did this last week, I was curious. I wanted to see, okay, how many votes did everybody get? In 2024, Kamala Harris got 74 million votes, and Donald Trump got 77 million votes. He won the popular election as well as the Electoral College. When he ran in 2020, he only got 74 million votes, the same amount Kamala got this time. But guess how many votes good old Joe Biden got? 81 million.
So, and we all knew, anybody with a brain who wasn't blinded by ideology knew that Joe Biden was already on the path to dementia in 2020.
Yeah.
And now we're finding out, now they're finally getting to the hearings. They had somebody in there today who was asked how many times was the auto pen used.
Yes.
I can't wait to see where that goes.
Well-
if we're lucky, we can unwind or invalidate some of the legislation or executive orders that were issued by Joe, because it
Well-
wasn't him that signed them.
There's the question, though. They asked her, do you know for certain that the orders you got to use the auto pen came from Biden himself or from somebody else? And she said, I don't know.
She may be telling the truth.
She may be telling the truth, and she may be, trying to watch her back to make sure nobody stabs her, because there's a lot of evidence that points to the fact somebody else was in charge, that Biden was just the figurehead, waving to everybody and eating his pudding and all that. But somebody else was in active control of that administration.
Every time I see that old fart with his mouth around the end of an ice cream cone, I want to give an ice cream enema. Just so ridiculous. Let's see. Soldier Boy has his afternoon missive.
Soldier Boy.
Are we going to be doing this again? Hey, Soldier Boy.
Didn't this happen last time?
Okay?
Yeah, it did.
Dude, you okay?
Soldier Boy.
I hear something.
You have us
Can
on
you hear
mute.
us? We can't hear you.
This has got to stop. This has got to stop. We're not going to spend 5 minutes trying to get somebody to connect with the station. If you're going to call, sometimes you have to hold. Keep the phone near your ear and not your rear, so that we can connect with you quickly.
Ground control to Major Tom.
Because sitting here like Pee Wee Herman and yelling, "Hello!" It's just not that interesting. So Soldier Boy, call back and be ready to go on the radio immediately, if not sooner.
What's that?
Speaking of Pee Wee Herman, we're going to talk to the movie maven this afternoon, Ms. Murray, about the HBO documentary.
Yeah, I need to see that.
I've seen it.
Me too.
Oh, you have seen it?
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
That's funny.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Let me tell you something.
So about this,
you guys are making me afraid now.
The problem is we have heard all of those sound effects and know how to replicate them.
Oh, so you're blaming my sound effects for this rebellion in the studio?
I don't know if we should blame the sound effect or the person pushing the button. What do you think? Anyway,
scary.
About this documentary about Paul Rubens and
Yeah, I did my share of Pee Wee Herman jokes. In fact, let me see if we still have these in the system. About 10 years ago or so, we had things called phone jacks.
Oh,
yes, it's here. I have a bunch of these actually.
Yeah, this one's good.
I wish we had the one with Norm, but we don't. But we have this from Pee Wee Herman.
Thank you for calling NextCare. My name is Amy. How can I help you? Hello! Hi, how can I help you?
Guess what?
What?
I'm having a party and you're invited.
You've reached NextCare Urgent Care. Is there something that I can help you with?
When did you discover that you were so beautiful?
I think you have the wrong number, sir.
Dr. Jinka Janka in?
We don't have a physician by that name at our clinic.
Dr. Winslow J. Jinka Janka.
Is there something that I can help you with, sir?
I'm trying to use the phone!
I think you have the wrong number, so I will be disconnecting the call.
Well, my mistake.
She was so polite in trying to deal with this idiot.
I did not see an episode of that show until last night after the documentary was over. And Janelle was not a Pee Wee kid, so there was no reason for me to sit and watch it with her.
Yeah.
And it's actually Paul Rubens, before he died, trying to tell his story. Now, the guy had a couple of arrests on his record that were kind of shocking,
Salacious, yeah.
But in the context of the things you can get arrested for, I mean, okay, he's not the first person whose sexual urges caused him to do stupid things.
Yeah.
And at the end, they kind of leave the viewer, this 2-part series, and his story is really interesting. And you get a lot of behind the scenes on how they made that show and so forth. But in the end, the show leaves you as the viewer to render a verdict as to who Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman really was.
Yeah.
And my honest answer to that is that I don't think he was gay. It establishes that. But I don't think he was a pedophile, and I don't think that he had anything to do with child porn. They never really found any evidence that he was.
No.
Well, and he wasn't charged with doing something to someone else. It was
No,
just
he
being
never
seen
hurt
in a public
anybody, but he got caught with behaviors that are rather unconventional.
Well, and he collected art, right?
Yeah,
That
it was very much homosexual art in nature, but it was not. Do you remember the classy porn bit?
Yes.
I should play this for you. We had a. See, he's already laughing. Should I do that? Okay.
Yeah. But that's it's kind of fascinating because his career was really, really strange because he started out working with the Groundlings in L.A., which is an improv troupe, and this character of Pee Wee Herman kind of evolved out of something they did.
Yeah.
And then he came up with the idea of, well, let's do a stage show. And then somebody saw the stage show and said, hey, this would make a great kids TV
Yes.
show. And they went all out. And it's really interesting because that he wanted it to be a good quality show and still infuse it with that manic energy and the really off the wall wackiness.
It ended up being very popular with kids, but it had a huge adult following as well.
Oh, yeah.
In large part, people who were maybe one toke over the line. And
yeah, I think that would help you enjoy it a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's possible.
I liked Pee Wee's Big Adventure when I was a kid.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's the mainstream thing that everybody remembers.
Yeah. But when the episode I watched, there were some subtle sexual overtones to that. But nothing horrifying. Nothing I say you got to take that out.
Disney movies did the same thing.
Yes, they did.
They had jokes aimed at the adults, not the kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
and there's a
Every
lot
time
of, like,
Dumbo lifted his
subtle-
trunk, what did it?
There's a lot of subtle grooming type things.
Well, it's also the whole
Yes,
idea
that's a good way to describe it.
that you can interpret things a certain way when they're not meant to be that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like the whole, Batman and Robin is a classic example of
Oh yeah.
two guys living together and they dress up in costumes and fight crime. Well, certain people saw that as being
That goes
you know.
way over a child's head
I know.
when they're watching
I know.
it.
I'm just
All this stuff.
Soldier Boy has returned to the phone. I hope.
Oh, good.
You there?
Jan Hutt, yes, I am present for duty, sir.
Okay.
Hey, it scares the hell out of me. What's going on in New York City?
Well, yeah, that's why we opened the show with it. I think it's very important to care about what happens in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing that happened in London is going to happen in New York City. They're going to have a Muslim leader, pack the people, pack the votes, and control it. Did you hear some of the things that he wants Sharia law enforced? He wants the police to cut down and enforce.
Yep.
He wants free bus drives anywhere in the city, like little shuttle drivers. My God, he had a list of things, and he's not trying to hide it. He's a self-proclaimed, and he won.
Yeah. Does he have a plan on where he's going to get the money for all that free stuff?
I think he's going to get it from the feds, but that's another story.
Well,
but the whole thing about the whole issue about it is he thinks everything is free. And 46% of the people voted for him? Are there that many stupid? I mean, does New York City not learn their lesson from the illegal immigrants?
Well,
they got to get more abuse.
I think what this guy is thinking is that there's still enough rich people in New York to help subsidize all this.
Yeah, he's going to soak them, bring them, take their wealth away, what they've earned. And even if it's inherited money, even if it's old money, it's still their money. Why should he be entitled to that?
Do you think they're going to stay there? And
No,
the rich people
of
in
course not.
California, when they raised the taxes so much, they went to where? They went to Nevada,
Yeah.
and they moved to Arizona. I had friends that were rich millionaires.
Well, and that's
they went straight to Vegas.
That's the sad
and
thing
lived on
about
the property.
that's the sad thing about this is that the rich people have the resources to be able to move and go somewhere else. The poor people don't. They're stuck. So
And they will be the ones
everyone's gonna
that the ones that voted for him are going to be the ones that become enslaved to whatever disaster he creates there.
Did you see people walking around in burqas and Sharia law in New York City?
Mm-hmm.
God.
Mm-hmm.
That should be determined to be unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, and soon. Put an end to that.
Who's running?
Sharia law does not override our Constitution. It should be considered unconstitutional and not, you don't get an exemption. You want to live in America, you live by our laws, not by Sharia law. That should be absolutely banned nationwide. And I hope Donald Trump does it.
Did you see who's running as the representative for the Republican Party in New York City?
Yeah, Curtis Sliwa.
Yeah.
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 Man, that guy's
What do
been
you think
around
about
forever. I remember when he was a young man with his hat and Lisa Sliwa on the subway. And that was, and before Rudy came along, that was your best bet. Your safest bet in New York was to find a guardian angel on your subway car. How pathetic is that? Salisbury, got to run. Thanks for the call. Yeah, I think most of them have absolutely no clue as to what they voted for.
No.
So at 3:58, let's talk AMS Studios.
Yeah.
This blast furnace heat, sometimes that nice tan that you aim for becomes something, you get spots.
I have a lot of people who are planning their lake and beach trips knowing that they will come to the spa in the fall and do skincare and anti-aging treatments to regenerate. Yep. So stuff like IPL, we do chemical peels, we do facials all the time, of course. And a lot of clients do facials every month when they know that they kind of put their skin through it, because that combats a lot of the damage that you're doing. Not sunspots and stuff, but
It's very proactive, though.
yes,
It's something that you can do to help
yes,
slow down that process.
definitely. And I mean, I recommend that start earlier than I did. I started at 30, but you can start earlier and prevent a lot of aging.
And here's the thing, everyone, well, the only way you can look younger is cosmetic surgery. No, that's not true at all.
No.
But they can remove things and improve skin with the technologies at AMS Studios that help you get a younger, healthier look. It's not just looking younger. That can sometimes look artificial. It's very natural, the results that her technologies produce. I've been doing IPL surgery, and every time I have a session, people notice.
Yeah.
It's not like, and it's
It makes your skin a lot just smoother canvas.
Well, it makes you glow. I mean, when your
does.
skin is in better condition, it gives off that idea of confidence, of assurance, and then look at me.
well, in
I
your
look better.
profession in theater, I would imagine that, these kinds of things are often used by people who want to maintain the right stage look,
Indeed, they are.
but do not want to go under the knife or do something that could really
Well,
permanently
because-
alter their appearance.
Sometimes doing surgery can have bad results.
Yeah.
Yes.
And very
There's no
negative
guarantee.
results.
There, ask Meg Ryan and others who were
Well, there's
tragically
Elder.
disfigured by.
Demi Moore.
Oh, yeah.
Then they try to correct the surgery and make it worse.
Yeah.
And
because
you
once
still pay.
pull that skin back and cut a bunch of it off, you can't put it back.
No,
That's
no,
right.
it's gone.
That's right.
But using technology to help them. And by the way, that includes a slimmer look, the Evolve Body System, head to toe. They have options for you at AMS Studios. To find out more, visit them online at ams-studios.com or consult over the phone at 730-1268. Always a great idea as a gift certificate for a birthday or somebody you just want to do something special for.
Yep.
Because that's what AMS is, special. All right, we are at 4:02. I'm going to take you into the traffic dungeon with another one of those phone jacks. I had one other one. This one is Bernie Sanders. Then we'll hit traffic, Salem Radio Network News, and come back for the 4 o'clock hour. Bernie?
Thank you for calling Marketing Solutions.
Our country today faces a series of unprecedented crises.
Sir?
The American people are sick and tired of your damn emails.
Tired.
You no longer wish to receive our email, sir?
This is a moral issue.
Okay. All you need to
Your
do
millionaire and billionaire friends caused this problem.
Excuse me?
Enough of the emails.
Yes, as I was saying,
Too many lives being destroyed.
from emails?
No.
I'm not sure. Would you like to stop receiving our emails?
We know what's going on.
What?
You're talking about a quagmire in a quagmire.
I'm only talking about email.
I believe that everybody in this country has a mental crisis.
Excuse me?
All the shouting in the world is not going to do what I would hope all of us want.
No more emails?
Giving guns to criminals.
What?
In Afghanistan.
Sir, you can remove yourself from our email list.
Enough of the emails.
But this is the only
Say
way.
that when a mother has a baby, she should stay home with that baby.
Okay, sir, I believe I've helped you to the best of my ability. Thank you for calling Marketing
Every
Solutions.
telephone call in this country ends up in a file at the NSA.
Did you see how Rogan dealt with good old Bernie Sanders?
I'd like to get a clip from that. I heard about it.
Yeah. Oh my
I
goodness.
don't know if I can stand to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, because Bernie started talking about climate change this and climate change that.
Oh,
Rogan
God.
said, you know that there's an article published at the Washington Post where you've got scientists saying that this data contradicts what, and he was like, he was very much not ready to have his views be challenged.
It
was fun.
That's on the long list of things that have to be proven bogus.
Yeah.
While Trump's in office.
Well, as Rogan pointed out, this whole climate change thing is about control. People in government,
That's all it is.
in power, wanting to control other
Well, look at what they used it to start telling people, what temperature they could set the refrigerator at, how much hot water they could use in a shower. Up yours.
Yep.
If I want to boil myself alive in a bathtub, that's my business. Bastards. Sons of bitches. Really, they suck.
Traffic is brought to you by Baumhauer's. Start 2025 off with legendary buffalo wings from Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Baumhauer's has great food, service, and fun. See you at Baumhauer's Victory Grill.
And we will be there after the show. After I calm down.
Well, we have an accident right where Mount Meigs turns into Adam Avenue near the Church's Chicken there. We've got a minor accident. We believe that one is out of the way, but use caution. That's all we really have right now, other than busy traffic, and it's building everywhere. Boulevards, interstates, all of our feeder roads outbound this afternoon. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka reporting light to moderate traffic, but no issues. Check out the new 2025 4Runners at McKinnon Toyota. They're in stock on the lot, and they're going fast. It's worth the drive. McKinnon Toyota, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. I'm Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
Come join the city of Prattville in celebrating our independence. Spend your 4th of July with the annual Downtown Parade at 9 a.m. Next, head over to Pratt Park for the Lions Club barbecue and the cardboard boat races at Pratt Pool. The fun continues with Rock the Lot with music by the Alex Walker Band and the food trucks in Academy Sports parking lot, 6:30 to 8:30. Wrap up with one of the area's largest fireworks displays, launched from Home Place Clock Tower at 8:30 p.m. For more information, visit PrattvilleAL.gov.
No one wants to wait on service for an overhead door. With 20 years in the industry, you now have access to the best with All Access Overhead Door. All Access Overhead Doors offers prompt professional service at affordable prices on all service and new garage doors for residential and commercial locations. All Access Overhead Door serves the river region and can take care of whatever you need when it comes to your overhead door. Remember, you have access to the best. All Access Overhead Door. Call and schedule an appointment today. 320-2440. And like them on Facebook. They sell the best and service the rest.
No one wants to leave behind stress for their family. That's why a trust or a will is so important. Without one, your assets might go to the wrong people or leave out loved ones. Also, probate is long, expensive, and often avoidable with a revocable trust. Trustandwill.com makes it simple to create a personalized estate plan. A trust or will provides clarity and peace of mind. Get 20% off on your estate plan documents by visiting trustandwill.com/radio.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads, great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage, weird, but still a salad. One radish and a couple of green beans, also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke. Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
4th of July savings are here at the Home Depot, so it's time to get your grilling on. Pick up the Traeger Pro Series 22 pellet grill and smoker, now on special buy for $389, was $549. Smoke a rack of ribs or bake an apple pie. This grill is versatile enough to do it all. This summer, no matter how you like your steaks, your barbecues are guaranteed to be well done. Celebrate 4th of July with fast free delivery on select grills right now at the Home Depot. Subject to availability.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
This is not headline news. Johnny Knoxville will host the Fear Factor reboot. Do you wonder if it takes the excitement out of the show when the host has done way stupider things than the contestants ever will? Hulk Hogan is opening a bar in New York City. The sign in the front window says, "Shirt, shoes, no service." New research shows that having frequent nightmares can lead to an early death, especially if those nightmares take place on Elm Street. And China unveiled a drone the size of a mosquito. It generates as much buzz as this year's NBA Finals. This is not headline news.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. NATO leaders agreeing on an increase in defense spending. They've endorsed a commitment to invest 5% of GDP annually on core defense requirements. Ceasefire between Israel and Iran appears to be holding. President Trump has asserted U.S. and Iranian officials plan to sit down for talks next week. The USS Gerald R. Ford is on the move, leaving port in Virginia. United States' most advanced aircraft carrier could end up somewhere close to Israel. Bipartisan group of lawmakers vowing to keep Chinese artificial intelligence systems out of federal agencies while pledging to ensure the U.S. will prevail against China in the global AI competition. And forecasters say some good news, relief may be on the way from the very hot weather in the east. This is SRN News.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
This might be the best name in baseball. Dickie Lovelady.
Enter Dickie Lovelady, the new Mets sensation.
It's a man, baby.
Hold on to your hats, Mets fans. Meet Dickie Lovelady, a 29-year-old pitcher.
The name of the new player, Dickie Lovelady.
The greatest name in sports. Dickie Lovelady is a Met.
It's a man, baby. It's a man, baby. It's a man, baby.
And welcome back to Hour 2 at 412. Greg Udell with Pamela Dubuque and Master Thespian.
Hello.
The Great Warhawk. Let me ask you, do you remember, it was based on that pitcher's name? Because I thought that's a very Austin Powers.
I just watched Austin Powers 2 nights ago. That's so funny.
Those movies still make me laugh.
It was hilarious. There were so many laugh out loud moments.
As goofy as Mike Myers has turned out to be.
Well, the thing that impresses me is that it's a very loving parody of the James Bond movies.
Yes.
I'm a big James Bond fan. So
me too.
First time I saw Austin Powers, I was just like, oh, I get it. You're poking fun at all the silly stuff. And okay, I got it. I got it. And it was very well done.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Even the third one would be once. Some of the stuff in there was so well done. Like when he's trying to hide, he's at Roboto Industries in Japan. I never brought it up because it's such a raw subject with the band. And in case you hadn't heard, I used to work for a group called Styx. Styx! They made an album called Mr. Roboto, which ultimately bankrupted them.
Yeah. Domo arigato,
Yeah.
Mr. Roboto.
But they did their that was their shot. They always wanted to have a rock opera, and that was it.
Well, I think they spent a lot of money on that tour.
Oh yeah.
Because they tried to do a live stage show, and they had special effects and screens and all that stuff. And I still have a T-shirt from that tour, but it was
Well, you
fun to
know
watch,
that it
but-
didn't work when Austin Powers turned you into a running joke in your movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Austin is inside Roboto Industry headquarters, and he actually does the line with the CEO of the guy. Domo se rigato, Mr. Roboto. Very sly. Anyway, there's a scene where he's first trapped in their headquarters and he's trying to hide from the security cameras.
Mm-hmm.
So he stands behind a statue,
Mm-hmm.
but he needs to go to the bathroom. So he takes this incredible leak that he holds for like 2 minutes. You'd have to have a bladder the size of a basketball to do that. But,
Yeah.
it's coordinated with the statue he's standing behind. Actually, is a cherub getting ready to stuff like that was done really well. It's funny. I'm not describing it particularly well.
Yeah,
But,
they used to have those fountains at weddings with the little cherub and the liquid coming from the cherub. Yes.
I want to find a scene though, since we did that thing on the player named Lovelady.
Yeah. Good old Richard. Good old Richard.
I want to see if YouTube
Love Liver
has the love lever scene. There's a woman who is a witness that he's trying to question, and her name is Liv Lully, or he keeps calling her Mrs. Lovelever, which of course is a phallic reference. But I don't know that they've got it here.
I got some of the Steve Martin stuff.
We can't put these on the screen, can we? These clips.
What is it from?
Pink Panther.
It's from a movie.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Copyrighted material.
Yeah.
And does your dog bite?
Yeah.
No. Nice doggy.
Yes.
I thought you said your bite. That's not the dog.
Oh, yeah. Very simple.
And you know, he was never, Peter Sellers was never supposed to be the main character in those. But all the stuff that he was doing in the first Pink Panther movie that had, I think, not Robert Conrad. Anyway, it had David Niven in it and another guy, and they were supposed to be the stars of the movie, but Sellers just kept coming up with stuff and kept doing things.
Yeah.
And everybody gravitated towards him as the focus.
Yeah.
So that's how he became a huge star.
Let me see if this is the Lovely. Can I do that?
Yeah, I'm just not going to put it on screen.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, he did it. He just killed the grand piano with a mace.
I can't find Mrs. Lovelever.
Mrs. Lovelever.
I don't know if it's after that line or before,
I don't know.
but we'll have a good time finding out.
I don't know.
Hey, it's Gabby the Golf Pro.
Hey, buddy. I was heading back from Stillwaters back to Montgomery, listening to the show, and I tell you, I was a huge Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman fan.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it was all of what was exposed about him and what he got in trouble for was pretty embarrassing. But he was a genius, and MTV brought him back to be to send out an award or whatever.
Yes.
And he walked out on the stage, and the place roared. And then when they all calmed down, he just looked around and he went, "Heard any good jokes lately?"
Yes. That scene is in the documentary we're going to talk about with Ellen Murray next time.
And he diffused everything with one sentence. I said, that guy's brilliant. I loved him.
Yeah.
I think,
but yeah.
I'm glad you made this point, because the one thing Pee Wee Herman could be convicted of is doing something embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It is. That's what it was. It was just embarrassing. You don't want people to know that much about you, what you're into,
Yeah.
how into it you are.
Exactly.
And that's what was revealed. And that's embarrassing.
Yes.
Well, the way he handled it, it diffused it. And I tell you, when I was in college, I was slender, had dark hair, and I dressed as Pee Wee Herman. I got a fake can, I got the trick gum, and I had the greatest Halloween night. I went from party to party doing him, and everybody just roared when I walked in because they just all loved Pee Wee. And hey, take my hand, I had a blast with it. So
Yeah.
I had to call back when I heard you talking about Pee Wee. I was like, oh, I've got to tell him I love that guy, but I didn't know about his sexual orientation, which is not a big deal. But his entertainment and his show, he was a genius, man.
well, I
He was
think
great.
for, and we'll take a deeper dive on this with Miss Murray at 5:35, but I think to remember him as some type of a pervert is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The media, and it's
agree with
never
that.
anyone. They got somebody that they can destroy just based on
Right.
circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
They just, and there was also a new eager DA in California who tried with really no evidence whatsoever. Once they used the term pedophile or child porn, and your name in the same sentence, you're ruined.
Yeah.
It's over. Yeah, especially in Hollywood.
And
Yeah.
this guy was
But I
very
mean, you
reckless
guys-
in that regard.
You've got that on your board where I think it's right before the news, and then it says hello, and I said he uses Pee Wee. That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, y'all have a great day. Now I've talked to Susan and Pam, both Cougars in one day. I'll never do that again, but that was great.
Well, actually,
Wow.
talked to a really old cougar and one who's
a
just
cougar-
getting
cougar's a
started.
cougar. Cougar's a cougar. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
My boyfriend is technically younger than me.
Well. Well, if it makes you feel any better, my wife is older than me.
Can I continue to look for Mrs. Lovelever?
Yes.
Yes, but they can't hear it on YouTube. So,
Oh,
and I don't know did you shut us off totally? Because it says no audio or video on YouTube. Maybe they're just talking about what we are listening to. They should still be
Maybe.
able to hear us conversing.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just, this is the thing, Pamela. I'm trying
We
to find
can't
Mrs.
share the copyrighted stuff.
Yeah.
I know, but I want to hear Mrs. Lovelever.
Yeah, and there's another thing going on in this scene that the radio people can't see is that he's got his hand stuck in a glove from
Yeah.
a suit of armor
Yeah.
that's attached to a mace, which he just destroyed a piano with. And
Yeah,
that's-
it's a very heavy ball.
as he's questioning these people, he keeps trying to get the glove off and he can't get it off.
So when he aimed his hand at somebody, the ball flew out and
Whacked
hit him in the face. That was
Mhm.
the beekeeper, I believe.
The poor beekeeper.
Let me take just 30 seconds.
Go for it.
Folks on YouTube, please bear with us here.
The great Peter Sellers.
Lieber Lily. He was dangling his ball in the fireplace. Well, at least I know it was
It's in this scene, yeah.
Lever Lily.
Yes.
Lever Lily.
All of those names are hilarious.
Yes.
Mrs. Love Lever.
That's a surprise to Steinway. Not anymore.
Not anymore. Beautifully underplayed. Look, we have killed almost the first half of the show.
How did we do that?
I like that. Where did the market finish today, by the way?
I don't know.
Brant will be joining us next hour from Invista Advisors, only down 106 after 2 really good, strong days.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Hey,
Yep.
When after the launch on the nuke facilities, I saw experts on the news predicting the Dow would drop 1,500 to 2,000 points.
Yeah.
Before it even opened on Monday.
Wow.
And it ended up hundreds of points both Monday and Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, Brant will join us 5:15 for that analysis. I got a clip from Tucker on the Minnesota assassinations. It's one of those stories. And again, it's the Democrats.
Yeah.
It's the Democrats, one of their own, assassinating a council person who had the audacity to vote to get the illegals out of their town. Why did they vote that way? Because their constituents probably insisted on it.
Yep.
And then they paid with their lives. This is how the Democrats get their way. If you don't do what they want, well, if we have to, we'll kill you. The other story, too, that needs to be mentioned. That little punk that murdered his high school teammate in a peak of rage. The one that the left went out and raised millions of dollars for. His family probably went out and bought mansions and fancy cars and stuff like that, instead of lining up a great defense. He was charged with murder.
As an adult.
Yes.
Good. Good.
And he could be away for the rest of his life. Because sympathy is a word you'll find between the street term for poop and syphilis in the dictionary.
Yeah.
I have no sympathy there whatsoever. None. There's nothing to understand there.
Are you sharing that screen,
Which one?
Tucker?
I'm going to get it ready for after the break.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
In the meantime, Georgia Floors Direct stands ready to help you achieve whatever flooring goal you may have. I've seen it all. I've done a room at a time. I did a hardwood floor with Georgia Floors Direct. Pulled out, it was radio carpeting that came with the house when it was first built. And after 20 years, it was looking a little dull.
Yeah.
You couldn't even clean it to look good.
Yeah.
And bought this nice dark hardwood floor and decided to do living room and the bedroom with it. And it was gorgeous. But the most amazing part of it was watching the installers put it in. It was a husband and wife team.
Really?
Real artisans. The measuring, the care. There was no, let's see if we can finish this before our lunch break. They took their time and did it right. And it was a masterpiece in flooring.
Wow.
That's among many great experiences I've had with Georgia Floors Direct. I watched them put in a marble kitchen countertop. Precision perfection. Again, seeing them remove the old and put in the new, and the end result, it's not even calculable. All at a wholesale price. All done by their installers. And thanks to Jeff Mallinson and his merry band of Floriers, you can have the same experience. They save you time, they save you money, and nobody has better selection. There's a reason why year after year after year, they're voted best in flooring here in the River Region by the consumers in the River Region. On the boulevard across from Lowe's, a flooring destination since 1969. I do believe we have some catching up to do here, Lucy.
Uh-oh. Okay.
A lot of catching up to do. But when we come back, we are going to explore the concept of is there such a thing as classy porn?
Okay.
And we're going to use something from our own past to illustrate the point. First, though, we've got Skipper with traffic. Got our bowling day picked out, too, by the way.
Well, some good news. Traffic light to moderate all over the area and building, but no real issues anywhere around Montgomery. Now, we're a bit busy on East Boulevard, I-65 and 85. Our busiest outbound traffic on 231 to Wetumpka. We're also a bit busy on Highway 331, Troy Highway, and 80 to Selma. But no issues. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka looking good, just reporting busy conditions at the moment. Whether you're stacking credits or starting fresh, Trenton State has flexible classes to fit your vibe. Go to TrentonState.edu and lock in your schedule. Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
For reliable electrical services in Central Alabama, trust the experts at Crosby Electric. Crosby's licensed and insured electricians are ready to tackle any project for your home. From troubleshooting, repairs, to installing new lighting and preventive maintenance. And Crosby understands the need for quality service for small business. Crosby is big enough for the largest job, yet small enough to bring real value. Visit CrosbyElectric.com to schedule your service. Crosby, powering Central Alabama with excellence.
Men, you are under siege. From the minute you hit adulthood, stress, bad sleep, junk food, screens, pressure, it all chips away at your testosterone, your energy, and yeah, your confidence. But no one tells you that. And no one tells you the benefit of screening early when you're younger. Research has found that maintaining optimal hormone levels prevents severe men's health issues later in life. At Montgomery Men's Health, we fight for you. The tired dad, the high performers running on fumes, the gym grinders, the man whom online pills have failed. This is for every man, young and old. Forget pills from apps or emails. You need a real medical provider, a clinic that'll fight like hell to get you back in the saddle. Guys, the future is local. Real clinics, real specialists, real answers. Testosterone results in minutes, not days. Montgomery Men's Health's friendly staff is on standby, ready to tackle your ED, your low T, and enhance your life. Call right now, 334-440-3663, or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. Montgomery Men's Health, making it happen.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. Did you know the current national average turn time to close on a mortgage is 48 business days? But not at Alabama Home Mortgage. At Alabama Home Mortgage, our average close time is 16 business days. That's a month faster than the rest. How do we do it? With over 60 years of combined experience in the industry. Our team knows mortgages. Our years of experience yield a better experience for our customers. Folks, time is money. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, don't waste time with another mortgage company, bank, or credit union. We close on time, every time. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our fast turn time is just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Jim Smith with Adams Drugs. Adams Drugs has been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for over a decade and have gone from 7 stores to 12 stores. We attribute our success for what they've done for us. Thank you, Blue Water Broadcasting.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Besides dealing with the extreme heat and humidity, we are also tracking some locally strong storms. They're random, but they can put on quite a show in this kind of heat. They'll be around well into the evening hours before fading out tonight. Overnight low temperature in the muggy mid-70s. Tomorrow and Friday, I've got us in the middle 90s for high temperatures with more pop-up storms. Again, some could be on the strong side. And by the weekend, the heat numbers will ease just a little bit, but still very hot and humid with more pop-up storms. From the AMS Weather Conference in Boise, Rich Thomas for Blue Water Broadcasting.
Hey, this is Jody Pangle with Peaches and Clean. Have you gone with luxury vinyl tile and luxury vinyl planking in your home? Peaches and Clean cleans luxury vinyl tile and planking. Give us a call. We'd love to come look at it and get you an estimate or quote for your cleaning. Check us out at peachesandclean.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Burning up.
My body is burning. The sweat is pouring off my skin. Now my underwear is soggy. We're in a heat wave once again. It's hotter than sin. Yeah. Well, the air is humid and muggy. You can fry an egg on the ground. Every day it's swelteringly sunny. The temperature won't ever come down in my town. Heat dome in America. Need to dive in a pool. Heat dome in America. Lord, I'm trying to keep cool.
Hey, Rich Thomas, do you mind if I pretend that I'm you for a minute?
Nah.
Good. He's at Boise, where it's much more temperate.
Oh, I bet.
Lows in the 40s and 50s. Come on.
Ooh.
Nice to wake up to that.
Yeah.
But he's also eating himself into a coma, and
He's probably seeing a moose or two.
when he comes back, I'm going to hear about, I got to go to the gym every day, and I got to lose 7 pounds by Friday, and he'll do it. Yeah, he just is amazing that way.
Yeah.
But I can be Rich Thomas. I'm going to share the radar screen for the first time.
Look at that.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Do I have to sign in again?
I don't know. Do you? Continue as what?
Oh, there it is. Okay, so I was just outside in front of the building.
Yep.
And this little, can they see the mouse? Yeah.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
If you look to the west, you'll see this right here. There's every kind of cloud that God ever invented is up there right now.
Wow.
The palette of colors, mostly pastels, some a little darker than others,
Mm-hmm.
is up there. And you can tell that forces are gathering. We'll be getting into some storms at some point. So let's take a look at the future radar for the river region here and see what's, wow. Oh, okay. Got,
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
and what time is that? That'll be after bomb hours. That's what the radar says.
Yeah.
This rain will not come in until after you've gotten to bomb hours and had some good food, fun, and legendary comrades.
Yes.
Where else is the rain? Looks like
North of
the
us,
bigger
yeah.
stuff is north. Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, it did lower the temperature. The clouds have finally blended together enough to block the sun, and it's only 92.
Oh, a balmy 92.
A balmy 92, which
Yeah.
is not too bad. That's fun. I'm going to do this more often because those who've listened to me for a long time know that I wanted to be Rich Thomas when I was a kid.
Yep.
When I went for my high school paper, I went down and I interviewed all the TV weathermen and asked them, how do you get to do this? And I got to watch them do live shows and stuff like that. And in fact, a couple of people that Rich eventually knew in the business too. Harry Volkman was a weather superstar in Chicago and nearby the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's at least a few folks that know that name. He was one of the best known Chicago personalities. And one night he got mugged at a donut store.
Interesting.
And you would think that somebody had attacked Jesus in the streets. the public outrage because he was such a nice guy.
Yeah.
I mean, and that came across
What did he ever do to you?
in abundance. I mean, if there had been GoFundMe at the time, they would have raised $10 million for the guy.
Wow.
Well, that's how we felt with Jim Massey here. It's like,
Yeah, that was.
And of course, the legend of Rich Thomas continues to grow.
what did you want to be when you grew up?
It changed. When I was a young man, I wanted to be an astronaut. Really wanted to be an astronaut. But then when we stopped going to the moon, even though you say we never did,
You still could be the first man on the moon.
I could be. But it's sort of changed a bit because I was like, well, we can't go to the moon. I don't want to just orbit the planet. So things changed a bit. It really wasn't until I guess I was in 7th grade and I saw a really, and I mean really bad production of a play called The Skeleton Walks, done by the drama club at my school. At that point, I had nothing. I had no idea what drama was. But I saw that and I went, man, I could do better than that. And that's when I decided, okay, I want to try to do this theater thing.
Yeah.
So we moved that summer from that school to a new school where nobody knew me.
They
And I
had a
went,
better drama club.
Hey, and they had a play and they were auditioning. I was like, nobody knows me.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Cool.
And that's how I got started doing that. And in high school, I had really good grades. I graduated 6th in my class.
Oh, wow.
And I did all the science and all the math and all that. And I could do all that. So I was planning, okay, I'm going to go and be an engineer. I went to college to study to be an engineer. Well, that lasted about 2 years before I finally said, forget this, and switched over to theater. Because I was, in addition to doing all the chemistry and the physics classes and all the calculus class, 8 o'clock in the morning is a bad time for a calculus class. Let me just tell you. That is not a good time.
Yeah. And
And especially when you have a teacher that writes the stuff on the board and then turns with this little simpering smile and says, see, isn't that clear? And we're like, no. But I was also in chorus. I was in the band. I did.
What'd you play?
I played trumpet.
Nice.
Yeah. I loved marching band in high school. Yeah.
We didn't have a marching band where I grew up, but we had a concert band. I played the clarinet.
Yeah. But that's probably why I never got into trouble, because I was so busy all the time doing stuff.
Me too.
But then I decided, okay, I'm going to go into theater, and that's the rest of the story. And I married a woman who was okay with me doing that. And, bless her heart, my mother, when I told her, okay, I'm not going to be an engineer, I'm going to go into theater, she's like, well, honey, I don't care what you do as long as you're a Christian. And I was like, thank you, Mom. You know, because I was fully expecting
That's a great moment
to blow up.
I
And
love
she
that.
was very nice about that. So
My dad, my articulation skills, my huge, and this is what women really want in a man with a huge vocabulary.
There you go.
And my ability to use it goes way back. Actually, when I was a kid, I would learn big words, and when adults were in the house, I would use them, and they always reacted like, wow, you know that word?
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
You have always loved attention.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Well, I was always one of those people that
It's
absorbed.
so Libra.
I absorbed
Yeah, but
as
for
much
so long-
information as I could.
For so long, Pamela, most of the attention I got was just for my good looks.
I have to tell you all, I started reading when I was less than 2.
Yeah, you've said that before. That's wild.
And it's freaky because I don't remember it. You know,
Yeah.
all I remember is I've always been able to read. And my mother used to put me in on the floor, surround me with books, and then she could go off and do things because she knew I wasn't going to go anywhere. I was going to just go after book after book after book.
I've always been a big reader.
But they would do things like when I was in elementary school, I rode the bus to school, and the high school kids would entertain themselves by finding big words in their textbook and say, okay, pronounce this. And I'd do it. I could throw it right off.
That's one of the things that makes Miss Murray a good choice to do entertainment. She is a voracious reader.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
She
yeah.
can knock off a full book in a couple of days.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I read a book a weekend.
Yeah. I don't go that far, but I'm usually about a book a month.
Yeah.
So I just realized I had a thing. We didn't get into it this morning, but it's about different types of divorces
Different types
that
of
occur within
divorces.
marriages.
Uh-huh.
I also have a story about a husband who got into criminal trouble because he was so afraid to go home to his angry wife.
That's hilarious.
So these are the kinds of things I love to run by Jake Quinlan. If she's available, and right now I don't have an answer.
Was he afraid
No,
of
she
bodily
is-
harm or?
Yeah, she had a stack day today. She didn't know how long her last one was going to run.
Oh. So she's going to play the work card on us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I was at her house last night, remember?
You got to pay the
She
bill.
checked- yeah.
You
she-
didn't tell us any stories.
Oh, it was pretty chill. She was just there with the kids, and me and Cameron went over and swam and hung out.
The more you get to know her, the more you'll realize what an incredible manager of life she is.
Yeah.
Without breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
I think that's why she and I get along so well. We're very alike.
You really, yeah. You do have in common. Anyway.
Was there ice cream left? Did they save some for you?
So actually, I went over there this morning by myself
Whatever, where by yourself.
to Jacqueline's pool because I was off today, and she was like, "Make yourself at home. Go ahead." So I went.
Aw,
in
that was nice.
Yes, I went in the pool for an hour and a half by myself this morning, and I had an ice cream while I was there today.
Well, there
You got
go.
pictures?
There you go.
I mean,
No.
you know,
No,
wasn't that kind of a
send them over
send-off?
here. Now I know I can put those on the screen. Oh, there's Joe Rogan with Bernie Sanders.
Oh yeah, it was fun. I heard that exchange. It was very fun.
oh, he looks just a wreck all the time. He looks like he's the most stressed out person.
Why doesn't he admit he's losing? Bernie just never, ever freaking gives up. He's a joke. Oh, 444. Holy cow. So it will be Pee Wee Herman with Miss Murray at 5:35 this afternoon, brought to you by AMS Studios in Prattville. And by the way, if you do have a life situation, and this is one of the reasons, many reasons we love Jacqueline. Boy, when you need somebody on your side and you have engaged Duncan Tomlinson, you almost feel like you bought not just legal wisdom, but protection, because they don't equivocate. There's no hemming and hawing or indecision. This is your life. You want people giving you advice with a sense of certainty. Here's the problem today. Here's how we get to resolution. The ability to legally map that plan, the strategy, and with confidence say, we're going to get there. Let us do our job. You focus on you, and we'll all come out on the other side of this thing in much better shape. It's so critical. And that's why even if you don't need Duncan Tomlinson, you may know somebody who does.
Yep.
Without hesitation, give them the number, 819-4810. Legal leadership. Yes, that is my term, but having experienced it with them, both in a professional and personal way, with Dana Delk and Jacqueline Tomlinson, I think it's a perfect description for them. They also handle all matters of family law, adoptions, blended families, and more. And believe me, the best thing in life you can do is take a child who needs a home and provide it, but they put massive roadblocks up in front to make it as difficult as they can. Let them help you cut through the chase and the red tape that you have to endure. Need a will done? You really should have one. They can do that for you too. 819-4810, or visit them online at the AlabamaFamilyLawyers.com for Delk and Tomlinson attorneys at law.
The representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
And we still have to get to the classy porn, and we will.
Well, we have several minor accidents around Montgomery, but nothing really causing any traffic problems. They're out of the way, and parking lots are off the beaten path. I-65 and 85 boulevards busy and building, as well as all of our feeder roads out of Montgomery. Getting very busy everywhere right now, but traffic flow is good all over the area. You're just dealing with pretty heavy traffic in some spots, especially on the boulevards. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka, looking good. No issues there. Great shopping at Premier Place, Shop It's Fashion, GNC, Goodwill, and more. Premier Place in Prattville, another great McClinton & Company development. I'm with Lee Shea, Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
And now, another flashback favorite.
News is brought to you by Mr. Electric. At Mr. Electric, they have the power to make things better.
1819 News.
The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency is now reporting on recent raids that occurred this past Monday. Aaliyah says those raids were prompted by a months-long investigation into stores that were selling hemp and CBD products, but were also potentially selling marijuana, which is illegal in the state. Aaliyah now says that the raids resulted in the seizure of large amounts of marijuana as well as drug paraphernalia. The seizure occurred in stores located in 4 Alabama cities: Troy, Enterprise, Clanton, and Wetumpka. Aaliyah also says that the months-long investigation was first prompted after they received numerous complaints about these stores violating state law when it comes to the sale of marijuana. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
The number is now at 37 arrests in Gulf Shores after a construction site was raided by FBI and ICE agents. The raid occurred at the construction site of the brand new Gulf Shores High School. The construction workers arrested have questionable immigration status. The construction company that is overseeing the project has been identified as Rayburn General Contractors. The city of Gulf Shores is now directing any questions on this issue to the construction company, saying that no city or school employees were at the site. Rayburn Construction Company has released a statement that acknowledges the raid and says that they are in full cooperation with law enforcement agencies. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
We're a customer service company that does electrical work. Landscape lighting, backyard lighting, you name it. If it involves a wire, we handle it. Peace of mind made easy. That's what you get with Mr. Electric.
Mr. Electric, the power to make things better.
Let's face it, what our customers say about our business is the most important advertising tool. Here at Adams Drugs, we love our customers. We're here with Al and Amy Steinecker, Adams Drugs customers. Amy, please tell us how easy it was to transfer your prescriptions to Adams Drugs from the big box store.
It was one of the easiest things I've ever done. I went into the pharmacy on Bone Road and spoke with the pharmacist and told him we had not been happy where we'd been and would love to transfer our prescriptions. And he said, I'll be happy to call them. And that was that. And now when I call, I just say I need to have a prescription filled. And it's just that simple.
Al, what has your customer service been like at Adams Drugs?
It's amazing. You walk in, you're not standing in a line. They speak to you, call you by name, and say, what do you need today, Al or Mr. Steinecker? It's wonderful. It doesn't get any better.
Please come into any Adams Drugs location and let us earn your business. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Recently, I met with 3 different owners of homes who had the same problem. They wanted to sell their house quick and sell it as is for cash. All 3 people were approached by different investors that said they had cash for their home, signed contracts, only to find out they were not personally going to buy their homes, but to find a buyer willing to pay more than they offered and pocket the difference. It's called wholesaling. Offer a contract to buy a house at a certain price, up to price to other buyers, and pocket the difference. I urge you, don't fall for it. You want to sell your home quick, use a licensed professional realtor, as I have been for 48 years, keeping promises to get homes sold quick. For all the details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225. Call Bo Goodson at 221-2883.
Hey guys, this is Todd Clark with River Region Contracting, your premier roofing contractor in Central Alabama. So remember the name, River Region Contracting, for all your roofing needs. We're not affiliated with any other roofing company in the River Region. We've been in the roofing business since 2005. We don't have to buy our leads, and we don't have to knock on doors when the storms come around. We have thousands of satisfied customers throughout Central Alabama. So call us at 334-356-8635. That's 334-356-8635.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Besides dealing with the extreme heat and humidity, we are also tracking some locally strong storms. They're random, but they can put on quite a show in this kind of heat. They'll be around well into the evening hours before fading out tonight. Overnight low temperature in the muggy mid-70s. Tomorrow and Friday, I've got us in the middle 90s for high temperatures with more pop-up storms. Again, some could be on the strong side. And by the weekend, the heat numbers will ease just a little bit, but still very hot and humid with more pop-up storms. From the AMS Weather Conference in Boise, Rich Thomas for Blue Water Broadcasting.
Thank you for your shirtless forecast there, Uncle Chi-Chi. We have one big storm that's an airport weather warning. It's on the west side. Just took a look at it. It's huge, and it's due south of Prattville, but moving off to the west. Otherwise, it looks like it's going to be good for the bomb.
ASE's 25 and 25 has you covered. For just $25 in closing costs, you can tap into your home's equity. No hidden fees, no headaches, just extra cash. Visit your local ASE Credit Union branch today. Federally insured by NCUA. NMLS 420259. Terms apply.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
ASE, an equal housing lender.
Well, when you don't hear a bed in the spot, you know we have a VIP on the phone. You'll never guess who it is either.
Jay Quellen.
Well, that's a good guess. And here she is.
Hi.
Well,
Hi.
hello.
So good afternoon.
Hello.
Sounds like you've been working hard today.
It has been a very long day, and I'm actually poolside without Pamela with my children.
Oh, I wish I was there.
Yeah, we heard stories about the pool.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all are welcome, but yes. And I think I'm going to try to come into the studio tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm going to come in. I don't know how long I'll be able to stay, but I'm going to try to make it work.
That'd be cool.
Excellent. Got a couple of stories that are in your wheelhouse today. And guess what state the first story is from?
Florida.
100% right there, Missy.
Those are my people.
Yeah. This is a husband who is in a literal doghouse facing charges now after cops say he broke into a vacant house because he didn't want to go home to his angry wife.
I don't blame him.
This happened in Davenport, Florida. The homeowner's neighbor who was watching the house while they were away. Neighbors said they saw the lights on and off inside. The cops showed up to check it out, found the guy making dinner. He'd also just finished filling up. Yeah, he just finished filling up the tub for a nice warm bath.
Wow.
He admitted
I love that for him.
he didn't have permission to be there, and he didn't know the owners. He just didn't want to go home because he and his wife had a big fight, and they'd been there for 4 days.
Oh,
wow.
He's facing multiple charges, including felony for unarmed burglary and no word on whether the wife bailed him out. I mean, have you ever seen a situation where a wife was that mad where the husband just...
I
Well,
never
I've
want to
been
have a
that
fight
mad.
that lasts multiple days.
Yeah, I would
Ever.
think she'd get even more angry that he didn't show up.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
You
I've been
call
that
it?
mad. What do you mean, have I ever heard of anything that mad? Yeah, I've been that mad.
Oh. Well, because...
What woman hasn't?
Well, I asked too because I do work with somebody here at Blue Water who can hold a grudge forever. But I don't want to mention anybody by name, Susan Woody. Also, another thing in the prep today, and it uses the word divorce, and this is your field of
Oh.
expertise. It's a new term called screen divorce.
Screen divorce.
Screen divorce. There's also one called sleep divorce.
Oh my gosh. I can't imagine either of these things.
What are these?
Screen divorce is when you don't have to agree on what to watch. You just go to separate areas of the house to watch whatever you want. So
That
there's
sounds
no-
just like regular marriage.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, I think that's healthy too. I mean, you don't want to be in each other's face every minute, right? And if what she's watching is of no interest, you're only going to sit there and be resentful.
Mm-hmm.
You should give it a chance.
Yeah.
But if you don't like it, you don't
But
like
it
it.
can get contentious. I mean, if you've only got one TV.
No,
in the
I know. Like,
house,
Jared doesn't like to watch hockey. So, like,
Yeah.
The other
and I
term,
know I'm watching it.
the other term is sleep divorce, something couples do, and I have been practicing this for a long time because of my crazy hours.
Right.
Unless you really like having somebody awakening and getting cleaned up and going through this whole ritual, making breakfast, you need to have separate rooms.
Yeah, I believe in that. If you have a weird work schedule, especially if somebody works nights and somebody works days, or you have a strange work schedule, because nobody can function on the lack of sleep.
Yeah.
And you can probably do it for a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's not really healthy for the person who's affected by the different schedule, or the other person that's affected by the other spouse's normal schedule.
Frankly, I don't find this very weird. In fact, it seems like a practical solution to avoid something worse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find it weird, but I would not like it.
Well, I know too.
I wouldn't like to have to do that.
People sleep in different ways.
I wouldn't.
Some people, they like to sleep, just
That would
being
suck.
completely still, But some people like me, it drives my wife nuts because I like to roll around and that I'm moving constantly at night.
Yeah.
So that might be a nice solution. We have a queen size bed, which
Are you
helps.
saying that you're a thrasher?
I'm a thrasher.
We have a king
I'm a
size
thrasher.
bed, and
Yeah, that helps to have
Yeah.
that much space. so
I'm
that-
I'm a rotisserie chicken sleeper also.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that term. That's cute.
I have a king size bed, but I have 2 children that sleep with me, and I would like to sleep divorce them.
We've talked about
Yeah, I was
this.
gonna
You
say.
need to.
Yeah, you got to put the foot down.
Get you some tranquilizer darts and
Lola,
children's
Mr.
NyQuil.
Greg and Miss Pamela said it's time for you to go in your own bed.
Amen.
Like you're almost 40. It's time.
You're practically a grown woman.
She
You're
is-
literally an adult.
She
You
is
have to sleep
foregoing
in
on
your own
40
bed.
in some respects.
You have to commit to the sleep schedule when they are
Pamela.
very young, or
Pamela.
you lose control.
Yeah.
I lost control.
I know. I wish I could help you. I would come there at night and sleep train her.
Now, there's
Listen, you're
I'm
also an
very
adult.
serious about it for parents and kids.
No.
I do not play about
There's a
sleep.
list of other divorces here that aren't quite as serious. The bathroom divorce, where she gets the shower caddy and he gets the shower corner.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Clothes divorce, she shops at Bloomingdale's or a fancy place and he shops at Costco.
I'm not knocking the Costco though,
Yeah.
man.
Costco has a good selection of clothes. Yeah.
I've gotten some real Jan out outfits at the Costco.
Alcohol divorce, she drinks white wine,
No.
he drinks a case of whatever is on sale.
I'm like, I drink whatever we got.
Plant divorce, she waters the plants, he trims the plants, but you both get to smoke the plants. All right, children divorce, she feeds, bathes, and cares for the kids. He plays golf.
Yeah, that's accurate.
That's a sure recipe for murder right there.
Yeah.
Hideaway divorce, she hides from the family in the bathroom. He hides from the family in the garage.
I think that's a self-descriptive for you there, Jacqueline. Don't you hide away in the bathroom sometimes? From your
I
chickens?
can't get away. There is no listen, after Lola saw Wicked, I haven't peed by myself in like 6 weeks, okay?
So that's
Like,
what did it.
I
That's
haven't been able
hilarious.
to do anything by myself
Yeah.
because Lola's now fearful, even though she loves the movie. She wants to see it again. She wants to have a Wicked birthday party, but she tells me she's scared. So
Yeah.
mommy doesn't get any alone time.
You know, part 2 is coming up this in
November, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, it is so bad when I'm taking a shower. She's right there at the glass, like looking, like, "Mama, you okay? You in there?" I'm like, "Yes, Lola, I'm just washing my hair."
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Like a
But
little
it's not,
puppy.
Greg. It's not.
Well,
it's constant.
I have bad news for you, Jacqueline. Shackles are against the law.
I know. Well, the only alone time I get is at work, and then I'm not alone because I'm dealing with clients.
And ironically, you're helping some of those clients get alone legally.
I know. I know.
I never thought about
Oddly
that.
enough, I am never alone.
We thank you for your contribution to the show. And now knowing how badly the kids want to get back into your warm embrace of Kith and Kin, as Clark Griswold said, we'll have to let you go.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Steve.
Yes, I'm just curious if anything interesting had happened this afternoon as far as the beautiful bill or any arrest on these people that are encouraging rioting and stuff.
No.
I did see that Trump said they're not going on vacation until they work on that and get it through.
We get it solved. Good. That's good.
You know, I think his chances of getting that done now are far higher because of the success of the attack on the Iranian nuclear. I mean, he's got the momentum of the country behind him.
Yeah.
Look, as soon as the Democrat, we're going to impeach him for taking out Iran's nukes. Guess what? 125 Democrats said, no, we're not going to let you do that to their own party. I think you're going to see a much more concerted effort to get that thing done.
Yeah.
Because getting in the way of Donald Trump right now is not a good idea.
Let's go ahead and get it done and then start in on about Social Security, just like I told David Blackman the other day. Get it passed in the House, put it on the Senate floor, and make them do a voice vote and tell the people, then they vote president or something, but tell the people in your state that you're going to vote against the seniors getting no tax on their Social Security because you got them and their children.
Yeah, I agree. He's got to get that on the record. Got to get that on the record. No doubt about it. Good idea. Steve, thanks a lot for the call. Look, I want you to know we may not have been talking about the heaviest things in the world today.
Mm-hmm.
I am watching the news sources here. There really hasn't been anything.
It's been quiet.
No.
It's
been very quiet.
Keep you up to speed. I kind of like it. Why do we have to live in a state of crisis? But Steve makes a good point. They've got to get that to a voice vote so we can identify every one of these sons of bitches that doesn't want to remove the tax from Social Security, which, by the way, was a bill co-sponsored by one Joseph Robinette Biden in 1992 and signed into law by the we can never have enough money for ourselves Clintons. Bitch. All right, 504, traffic and Wall Street Business and Salem Radio Network News coming up. I mentioned that we had our next bowling date picked. It is July 12th, 2 o'clock, Bama Lanes, Montgomery. And you're invited. We're also going to take some people for free. You have a chance to win those probably the week of the event when everybody's got a certain idea whether or not they'll be available that Saturday at 2 o'clock. But the last one we had in Prattville was awesome. We had a great turnout. Everybody
really
had fun.
Yeah.
And bowlers and non-bowlers came out, which was fun too. And the food was awesome. So give it some thought. Summer heat. Perfect place to get away from it. The bowling alley is cool and comfortable, and you can blow off a little steam. And bring the kids. The stars of our last bowling event were Pamela's kids. I mean, they were having a great time, unless I'm not a good reader of children. They loved it.
Time.
So bring the kids or the grandkids, get them out of the house, and get them into an environment that's away from a screen. The only screen you have to watch is the one that's got your score on it. That's Bama Lanes, Prattville, and Montgomery. Adult beverages and libations available at the Blue Iguana in Prattville and, of course, Kegler's Cove, Tommy Shaw's old hangout in Montgomery. We're going to check traffic. Now it's 5 minutes after 5.
Well, folks are getting off work and the highways are loading up. We're seeing pretty heavy traffic now on 85 northbound out of the interchange all the way up past Ann. And it is building 85 southbound, bunching up just a bit before the 65 merge at the interchange, and 65 northbound, Northern Boulevard up to the 143 on-ramp. Pretty heavy traffic there. All of our feeder roads out are loaded up. We've had a few minor accidents. None of those are affecting traffic flow. We'll keep you updated. At McKenna Nissan, up to $11,000 off the remaining 2024 Armadas. They got to go, and the savings are yours. McKenna Nissan, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. I'm Wendell J., Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Jason Walker. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says President Trump's tariffs will likely push up inflation in the coming months, even as GOP senators suggest the chair was biased against the duties. Kroger will close at least 60 grocery stores nationwide over the next 18 months. The company has not said which plans or which stores it plans to shutter, but adds employees will be offered jobs at other locations. The dating app Bumble announcing plans to lay off 240 employees. That is roughly 30% of its workforce. On Wall Street, stocks hung near an all-time high for a while. The Dow was off 106 points for the day. S&P ahead just a fraction, and the NASDAQ gained 61. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Jason Walker.
When you need a new door or window replaced, you want it done right. Someone who delivers expert craftsmanship every time. Experience is a must. Listen, Davis Door and Sash. They can show you new doors and windows that can help you lower your utility bills and boost energy efficiency. Davis Door and Sash, Alabama.com or call 334-288-6010. Davis Door and Sash, the perfect fit for your home.
Hey, it's Ashley, the owner of Pest Pro Services, and just a quick reminder about our most popular services, termite, pest, and mosquito control. And here's something you may not know, our mosquito control now covers fleas and ticks too. Building a home, call us for your termite treatment. Selling a home, call us for your real estate inspection. Whether it's your home or business, we'll keep you protected. Call or text 265-9990, that's 265-9990, or visit us on the web at ppsriverregion.com. And remember, when you want to know, call a pro.
And now, Dad Joke Theater.
I just received a blank letter from my origami teacher.
Really? What do you make of it?
Well, a swan, I guess.
Join us again for another Dad Joke Theater.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Israel and Iran seem to honor the fragile ceasefire between them for a second day, and President Trump asserted that American and Iranian officials will talk next week, giving rise to cautious hope for longer-term peace. Trump helped negotiate the ceasefire that took hold Tuesday on the 12th day of the war. NATO leaders have agreed on a massive hike in defense spending after pressure from President Trump, and expressed their ironclad commitment to come to each other's aid if attacked. The 32 leaders endorsed a final summit statement saying allies commit to invest 5% of GDP annually on core defense requirements, as well as defense and security-related spending by 2035. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 106 points. More details at srnnews.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Hi, my name's Neil. I have some advice for you if you've been trying to break free from credit card debt. You can start by doing what I did. Get your bills together and call Trinity Debt Management. Trinity is dedicated to helping people like me become debt-free. When I called, my first experience was a feeling of relief. My counselor was kind, and best of all, she didn't judge me. In just a few minutes, she helped me figure out a plan that consolidated all my bills into one lower monthly payment. This substantially reduced my high interest rates and put me on the road to success. In the end, I saved thousands in interest, and today my credit card debt is a thing of the past.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5496.
My name is Neil. Take it from someone who's been there. Call Trinity and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-936-5496.
Broiling outside. It's hot. It's broiling. Temperature is boiling. In this heat, I'm toiling. It's hot. I can't stand this weather. It's not getting better. The mercury's continuing to rise. I won't be complaining until it starts a-raining. But for now, we sit around and fry. Broiling. It's hot. Outside.
Well, it's not as broiling as it was, but there's still quite a bit of blue has reemerged in the sky.
Yep.
We have one big storm out there to the west, and it's moving away from the metro area. So far, so good. Should be no problem. Any heavy weather getting in the way of you and joining us at the Baumhauers later this hour, and we do hope you will do that. All right, it's 5:11. If you are in the market for a car and you're shopping used, I mean, it's hard to believe, but we will be in July a week from today.
I know.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Hey, guess what today is?
What is today?
It's June 25th.
June 25th.
Uh-huh.
6 months till Christmas. We actually celebrated that this morning. And it's called Leon Day. Did you know that?
Leon Day. Why is it called Leon Day?
I will have the man.
Noel.
Yeah, that's Noel spelled backwards.
Okay. I get it now.
June 25th is Leon Day. What is Leon Day? It marks 6 months until Christmas, because Leon is Noel spelled backwards. No, really, it's a true holiday. So let's celebrate Leon Day in song, shall we? To serve Leon, the Slegna Didness.
So it is.
Anyway.
Nice try. You get an A for effort.
And it seems every June 25th.
And Leon's getting larger.
In terms of, I played a lot of our old Christmas parodies and stuff this morning, just to get in the spirit.
So does that mean I should put my Christmas tree up now to get ready?
Oh, I don't think you need to do that. But
we were talking about where we were going to put the Christmas tree the other day.
But from this day,
because we moved somewhere new.
Yeah.
From this day, we get
kids
closer
were
to the
talking
next
about it.
Christmas than the last one.
I know.
Yeah.
Just a marker of time.
Start shopping now.
Rather remarkable.
Oh, yeah. Take advantage of those summer deals.
Yes.
That's right.
4th of July sales are coming up.
That's right.
Hit them up.
That's right.
You know, for 17 years, I wondered what can I do to make Susan Woody happy?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Don't sell me short here. We found the one thing. Montgomery Paint and Body took her little Miata and turned it into a new car.
Oh, yeah.
And the thrill is not gone. They were just telling us this morning, just every time she looks at it, she just loves stepping into that vehicle because it looks amazing. It really does.
She should have listened to
She
you.
even admitted she wishes she could get her own fender repaired there. Seriously, the car looks not just good as new, better than new.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the result they do. And I know it for one, because Donnie Turner just is not constitutionally capable of signing off on a vehicle that doesn't represent the best possible outcome. And I'm talking about small details.
Yeah.
Small details. And that even includes a spot on the door and the freshly washed door. It's got to be as close to perfect as it can. You're entitled to that result. Alabama law allows you to choose. So when your car is damaged in a wreck or you just need a sprucing up, MPB on the Boulevard at East Shirley Lane, 27 Rec with a W.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
Brett McDonald next.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, serving the river region with the best quality building materials for decades. Contractor to do-it-yourselfer. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Besides dealing with the extreme heat and humidity, we are also tracking some locally strong storms. They're random, but they can put on quite a show in this kind of heat. They'll be around well into the evening hours before fading out tonight. Overnight low temperature in the muggy mid-70s. Tomorrow and Friday, I've got us in the middle 90s for high temperatures with more pop-up storms. Again, some could be on the strong side. And by the weekend, the heat numbers will ease just a little bit, but still very hot and humid with more pop-up storms. From the AMS Weather Conference in Boise, Rich Thomas for Blue Water Broadcasting.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
And at this point in the show, we check in with the man we call Mr. Right on the Money, Brant McDonald from Invista Advisors. Good afternoon, Brant.
Hey, Greg. How are you, man?
I am okay. How was your universe today? What kind of news do you bring us?
Yeah, I mean, a good day all the way around. It wasn't a whole lot of data to speak of, really. I mean, we've heard from Jay Powell now before the House and the Senate. Recall that now that this whole thing with the Middle East is kind of settling down, or appears to be that way, we're turning our attention now to inflation, the Fed, monetary policy, earnings season, and the tax bill, the big, beautiful bill. So Jay Powell, it's interesting, his comments. There's no doubt about it. He thinks that This whole thing about the tariffs is what's got him worried and concerned, that he believes that inflation is going to tick back up again as a result of the tariffs. He said that in testimony before both chambers of Congress. And really, I think that's put a kind of a lid on the market, if you will. I mean, if you look at across the board, yesterday, again, not really a whole lot to write home about. On Friday, we do get the PCE, the Personal Consumption Expenditures Index, which is the Fed's preferred gauge of inflation. We know that. He said in front of Congress that he believes we're going to see that PCE number tick up. And he also believes that it is going to be a direct result of tariffs. That's his words in his testimony. Now, I have gone on record and I have said that, look, when you have these tariffs, it's an adjustment in price, okay? And it starts with all the goods that are coming into the country. There is a tax on those goods. They're coming at the wholesale level to these companies who produce goods and services. The choice then becomes, are those U.S. American companies going to raise prices to their end customers on an equal basis to what they're having to absorb at the border? My contention has always been the answer is no. They have incredible pricing power. They have a lot of room in their margins to absorb much of the price increase, number one. Number two, you can't forget the fact that many of these companies who do have better operational efficiencies, they're going to do what they need to do to protect their market share. It's not so much that they care about, just their consumer, as much as, protecting their turf, so to speak. And so you get into this competitive landscape, and I have seen, and history has shown us, that in certain instances, these tariffs won't have any impact at all because of the fierce competition that resides in the U.S. economy. With that said, though, I've also stated, and I will again reiterate, there is a chance that we will see a one-time sort of short-term bump in prices that could be, quote, could be attributable to tariffs. But tariffs do not cause inflation. They just don't. I've said this 100 times on the show. It is a one-time adjustment, and that's it. It doesn't have sort of that profound geometric impact that you find when you start looking at the supply of money and government spending. It's always been government spending and the increase in the U.S. money supply, particularly at the M2 level. That's what causes inflation. It's not tariffs. So for Jay Powell to be out there saying this in front of Congress and really, I think, getting even more transparent than he's been maybe ever with respect to forecasting what a PCE result will be or a CPI result might be, that does smack a little bit of politics. And there's no doubt about it. And, and I think it's his way of pushing back on the president. So we'll see what happens on Friday. There's no question in my mind, as I said, that the testimony Jay Powell gave is probably kept a lid on markets today, probably will again tomorrow. And then we'll see what happens on Friday when we get the actual report. So anyway, it's interesting to see. And then the other thing, remember, this tax legislation, they had a target on that. They were hoping to have it to the president's desk by the 4th of July. Remains to be seen whether that actually happens or not.
Yeah.
I think there's an outside chance that it could. You've got Senator Paul, who's hung up on the debt sweep. You've got Senator Ron Johnson, who's also hung up on the actual amount of the deficit spending that's got him worried, and others. So, and then the SALT, the SALT deduction, that's also another big critical part of this as well. So we'll see what sort of jockeying goes on in the Senate before they shoot it back over to the House. It'll be a close call whether it gets to the president's desk.
Well, I think the president's in a strong position here because, especially after the success of the military action last week, he's got the wind at his back. His approval is up there, and I think there's going to be some reluctance to resist him. He is not getting less popular; he's getting more. So I think some of these guys may weaken a little bit. And as far as Powell's concerned, you remember, Brent, you pointed this out last September when he cut the rate for Kamala. Inflation was already upticking. There was plenty of evidence to that, but he still did it. And as far as I'm concerned, that guy is political, and I just don't feel confident. It's like you said, the tariff, they were shrieking that the tariffs were going to jump prices hugely as soon as he imposed them, and they did not. So much of this has to do with how the media plays the story, and that's not the way it should work. That guy, as you can tell, Brent, that guy bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I get it, and I totally agree. I think that he's trying to prove a point. There's no doubt about it, and again, I'm not going to sit here and say that the tariffs cannot cause a temporary increase in prices.
That was the word.
Yeah, but it's not something that's going to cause a ripple effect of this just continuing inflation, an increase in the pace of inflation month after month after month, all the way through 2026. I don't see that. And by the way, neither do the Board of Governors on the Federal Open Market Committee. I mean, most of those governors, you look at their dot plots into 2026, right now they're calling for 6 rate cuts in 2026. That's what it's.
Yeah.
So I do think a lot of this is politics. I think Jay Powell is pushing back. I think he wants to stay at the Fed. Obviously, Trump is ready to replace him.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens. But Friday will be an interesting number for sure.
All right, my friend, we appreciate it. We will talk again tomorrow.
Absolutely. Y'all have a great night.
You too, Brent.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor, and separate entity from LPL Financial.
Hey, there's an item. 3 Mile Island is going to reopen next year. Well, I think they fixed it. But that's wild, isn't it? After almost 50 years?
Yeah.
Since that, 45 years.
Yeah.
How about that? Hey, I mentioned yesterday that at Jack Ingram Signature Used Cars, they had 3 options. Great vehicles available under $10,000. Actually, they had 4. Now they have 1.
Oh,
which is why when I give you these heads up on these, for those shopping in that market, for a new driver or kid going off to school, whatever the deal, they still, the truck is gone, the little Mini Cooper is gone, but they got a 2016 Hyundai Santa Fe Sport at $99.99. Now they got a lot of options just above 10, like a 2019 Volkswagen Jetta at $11,997. That seriously, statistically, is one of the best choices for new female drivers because of its safety features, and they like it. They don't feel like they're driving around in a clunker.
Yeah.
A 2017 Nissan Murano, one of the most comfortable vehicles anywhere, anytime, $13,999, and an Acura 2014 Acura RLX. That is such an awesome machine, so well engineered. $14,999. That's for starters on the lower end. Now, the Ingram family brings you great new products, too, from Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Nissan, Volkswagen, Volvo, and Audi, along with pre-owns in every price range, style of car, you name it, name, brand, whatever. You can search it any way you want at jackingram.com, or if you're in the pre-owned market, JackIngramSignatureUsedCars.com, because it's time to love what you drive. This is Skeeter on line 1. Skeeter, what's up?
Well, hey, Greg, how y'all doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Okay, I just wanted to kind of make a point here. These senators and Congress people that rode in on President Trump's coattails.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He was voted in with
Yes.
a mandate, correct? Why does this one guy, I don't like the bill because of this. Another guy, I don't like the bill because of this. His constituents voted him in to do what Trump wants to do, right?
Yes. And since there's
That
been
tears
great
me apart.
success with most of his plans so far, they need to get behind him.
Well, and
But
That's right.
they like the attention. That's what they're getting by opposing it, by saying up front, "Oh, well, there's something I don't like about it." It gets them attention, and ultimately, either they'll go along with it or they'll pay the consequence. I mean,
well,
That's the whole deal. That's that attention.
it's
gets-
always the usual
Let's get
suspects:
with it.
Massey, Paul, the rest. You know.
Chip Roy, yeah.
Yeah, real.
Man, that just drives me wild. If they got the majority in both houses, I mean, come on, let's get stuff done.
This is the Republican way. They always have an excuse to do to not do the right thing, or to hem and haw, or water it down and never get done what needs to be done. I'm counting on Trump to whip them into shape. Thanks for the call. Traffic, Blue Water News, the movie maven, Miss Murray, joining us shortly.
Well, we have a new accident. East-South Boulevard, eastbound, just before Woodley Road. 3 vehicles are involved there. Please watch out for emergency vehicles responding. That's going to be a bit of a slowdown this afternoon if you're headed over to Woodley or Troy Highway. Buckle up. Drive carefully. We are busy everywhere else. Interstates and boulevards are loaded up. We've got a lot of cars on all of our outbound arteries from Montgomery, Troy Highway 331, also highways 80, 31 to Prattville, Wetumpka Highway, very busy. We'll keep you updated. When it comes to the big jobs, check out the new Cat Next Generation track loaders at Thompson Tractor. It's got a bigger cab, more torque, more power, and great financing's available. ThompsonTractor.com. They're just off I-85 past Taylor Road. Wendell J., Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
News is brought to you by Budget Floors and More, your new best friend.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. A second person has been arrested in connection to a kidnapping and assault in Montgomery. 18-year-old Japaige Mister is charged in the June 16th incident where the female victim was found beaten and burned on West-South Boulevard. 26-year-old Amajay Nelson Cox was previously arrested in the case. The suspects allegedly poured gas on the victim and set her on fire. The Metro Area Crime Suppression Unit was formed 1 year ago with a mission to reduce crime in Montgomery. Since its inception, MAX has made 429 arrests, seized 268 firearms, recovered 68 stolen vehicles, and taken 164 machine gun conversion devices off the streets. Overall, MAX reports a 19% crime decrease in Montgomery over the past year. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office will hold its annual youth fishing rodeo this Saturday from 6 to noon. Everyone is encouraged to come out to the ponds on Troy Highway across from Sweet Creek Farm Market. Kids and teenagers will need to be accompanied by an adult and bring their own fishing gear. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
Are you thinking about selling your home? Here's a question for you. Would you trust your biggest investment to someone who's only doing real estate as a side gig? They've got another job, so how focused are they on getting you the best results? I'm Hannah Grantham, and for us at Forest Meadows Homes and Land, real estate is our full-time and only job.
That's right. You don't have a part-time banker, so why would you have a part-time realtor?
So if you're thinking of selling, think Hannah Grantham and Eddie Bader, and let's make sure your home gets the attention it deserves.
We're full-time agents getting full-time results. Give us a call today, 334-322-0662.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro. Post jobs today, talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hello there, this is Dr. Sam, account executive with Blue Water Broadcasting. Why should you advertise with us? Frequency sells. The more ads you can get on the air, the better the chance it'll make an impact. Radio allows advertisers an inexpensive way to get their voice heard over and over again. Contact me, Dr. Sam, by going to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Since 1966, Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches has been more than just a place to stay. It's been a place to belong. For children facing hardships through no fault of their own, our ranches provide more than shelter. We offer a warm home, a loving family, and a future filled with hope. With open arms, we welcome these young hearts, giving them the love, structure, and guidance they need to heal, grow, and thrive in a warm Christian environment. Together, we can give Alabama's children the chance they deserve, a chance to dream, to succeed, and to feel truly cherished. Every donation stays within Alabama, directly impacting the lives of the children who need it most. Join us in making a difference. Visit AlabamaSheriffsYouthRanches.org. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and download our app from your app store. We'd be honored to have you as a part of our mission to lift up Alabama's youth. And remember this, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women.
Your home's first impression starts outside, and Gateway Exterior Cleaning, Lawn, and Landscaping is here to make it unforgettable. From spotless windows and power wash driveways to house washing and roof cleaning as well as landscaping, they do it all. Residential or commercial, they've got you covered. Call Gateway Exterior Cleaning, Lawn, and Landscaping or visit GatewayExteriorCleaning.com for a free estimate. They offer 0% financing, 3 to 24 months for flexible payments, and a 15% discount for first-time customers. Gateway Exterior Cleaning is your gateway to a cleaner, brighter home or business. Call today at 334-467-5480. The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Besides dealing with the extreme heat and humidity, we are also tracking some locally strong storms. They're random, but they can put on quite a show in this kind of heat. They'll be around well into the evening hours before fading out tonight. Overnight low temperature in the muggy mid-70s. Tomorrow and Friday, I've got us in the middle 90s for high temperatures with more pop-up storms. Again, some could be on the strong side. And by the weekend, the heat numbers will ease just a little bit, but still very hot and humid with more pop-up storms. From the AMS Weather Conference in Boise, Rich Thomas for Blue Water Broadcasting.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
Very little on the Live in Fear Doppler right now, so we will see you at the Baumhauer.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
The Movie Maven, Miss Murray, brought to you by AMS Studios. Relax your soul, refresh your mind, renew your spirit with AMS Studios on Main Street in Prattville. AMS-studios.com or call 730-1268. We now welcome the Movie Maven, Ellen Murray. You're on with Master Thespian, Pamela Dubuque, and what's his name here?
Hello.
Hey, I'm having a flashback of yesterday.
Oh my gosh, deja vu.
Except you're there and you're not. Oh boy! But we're talking about Pee Wee Herman today.
I know you are, but what am I?
Say what you did there.
Nicely played.
What
Nicely
did you?
played.
That was funny.
Said Larry King from Beyond the Grave. How about that? You don't get that compliment very often on this show. I don't. But yeah, Pee Wee Herman is the topic, and I watched both halves of the documentary, and I'm glad I watched it, but I'd like to get your take on it first.
I'm really glad I watched it too, because my view of Pee Wee before I saw it was sort of one-dimensional. Like, I didn't know very much at all anything about his real life as Paul Ruiz, or how he grew up, or what his life was like. And now I do, and I think the filmmaker did an excellent job. He didn't, over sentimentalize it or anything. He just sort of told it how it was, and how it was spoke for itself. I mean, he was a good guy, and he got maligned, I think, by media, and for no reason that I can understand.
Well, they're so quick to want to embarrass people.
They
Just-
love bringing people down.
I know.
And now, even in the documentary, Pee Wee admits, going to an adult theater, that whole thing, terribly embarrassing, but he didn't harm anybody. What really, the things that sullied his reputation. And look, I wasn't a Pee Wee kid, obviously, it wasn't my show, but I did have to cover his arrest and so forth. And they did him a tremendous disservice. Wasn't it an ambitious DA in LA, a new guy who brought about the child porn situation when there was nothing.
That was the
It was
artwork.
nothing
right?
like that at all.
And it wasn't
But, I
even.
mean,
wasn't
an accusation is as good as true. When the media wants something to be true, they just lie about it.
Hey, that's true.
That is very true.
And I don't understand, because he wasn't an evil guy. He was very, very beloved in.
No, he brought so much joy into people's lives, and why did they want to squash that?
And yet, the arrest put him in a terrible spot, especially since the biggest consumers of his entertainment were kids. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you tear up in the scene in the documentary where he makes his first public comeback at the MTV Awards?
I didn't tear up. I cheered up. I was happy for him that he could bounce back, because he really was a resilient guy. But you could tell that, the arrest and being like housebound for all that time, it really kind of broke his spirit. And that's somebody that he couldn't, he was so happy of a person that you hate to see him that low.
Yeah.
Were you a Pee Wee child, Miss Murray?
I was. I watched Pee Wee's Playhouse. I loved it. And in fact, I watched an episode of the Playhouse, and I got the song stuck in my head.
Would you care to share that with us?
Earworm.
I love egg salad sandwiches to this day because of Pee Wee Herman.
Can you give us a little of that?
Mecca high,
The egg salad sandwich?
There's a scene in Pee Wee's Big Adventure where he takes the girl on a date and they have egg salad
Egg sandwiches,
sandwiches.
yep.
And I was like,
Egg salad sandwiches.
I'm a romantic at heart. Even as a child, I was like, oh my gosh, what's better than an egg salad sandwich?
That's funny.
Well, I'm just glad that they got this documentary out very quickly after his death, because I know they were filming this right up to the day before he died, right?
Yeah, he does a final recording of, just wanted to make a last statement. And the thing is, he knew he was dying all along, but the filmmaker didn't. He kept that from them while they were making the documentary.
Oh, that's sad.
How did I miss that?
Yeah.
But, and he, of course, was the, Pee Wee was his invention, the sets by extension, everything on the show. So he was used to having a lot of control. And that was the thing about this stuff. It's smart to, especially knowing how sick he was, to get this thing in motion while he was still alive instead of waiting for his, a death. And who knows how they're going to treat you then. At least then all the components of the story could get out.
Yeah, there was a big element in the documentary about how much control he was going to have, or in the editing room, was he even going to have a say in the final product? And I mean, I think the filmmaker did him justice, but there was an element of him wanting to not give up control.
Yeah.
Well, Pee Wee was somebody I had to cover doing my job, and my impression of him was that he was just weird, a little strange.
Yeah.
But
that's what made him so much fun.
I'm talking about after the arrest and stuff. Those are the things. That's what I knew.
Well, everybody's into their own stuff. You just don't usually find out about it.
This is true. That is 100% accurate.
Yeah, and he did other things too. Like he was in the movie Matilda. He was in.
Oh yeah, he was in a lot of stuff.
He did one of the voices in the
He was-
Nightmare Before Christmas.
He appeared in Reno 911 and a whole bunch of TV
Buffy
shows.
the Vampire Slayer.
Oh yeah, that death scene in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, I'm dying.
But I said
Oh,
what
you
I
got
did
me.
to make a specific point, and that is this documentary totally changed my mind.
Yeah, it cleared him.
I feel like I really sold him short. He was a creative genius. The part of the fun of the documentary is they take you on the set. They tell you the backstory on how certain set pieces were created. Some of the superstars, Phil Hartman and others that were part of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Lawrence Fishburne was the
Yes!
the cowboy.
Oh,
You know?
the long list. S. Epitha Murkerson was on that show.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing to see all the mega stars and very familiar faces that had some kind of a role or another with Pee-wee.
Yeah.
So
Little tiny Natasha Lyonne with the curly hair.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
like
Oh, I
5
love
years
her.
old.
Yes.
So, friends, whether you watched Pee-wee as a kid or saw the movies, whatever, he certainly was a prominent cultural person for many years. And to get the complete story on somebody as unique as Pee-wee, I really think you should give this a watch. Ellen, what service carries this? What streaming service?
It's on Max.
Max.
And it's a 2-part documentary. Each part is about an hour and a half. So it's a watch. But if you break it up, I mean, it's really easy to digest.
By the way, listeners are sending in suggestions and things they would like to cover in this segment. So, and I just want to encourage people, if you have a movie or a series that you haven't heard about, but something you'd like to turn everybody else onto, you can reach out to me through Facebook Messenger or
We
Greg, you
really
know-
need a Facebook group.
Yeah, we do.
Do you want me to create it, Ellen? We can run it together.
The movie Maven? Yeah.
Sure.
Hey.
Wow, I just felt so assured by that reply you just gave.
Well, Craig has been bugging me to do one per month, and I'm laughing because I'm a master procrastinator.
Hey, I've got to
Well,
ask you.
I'll do it, and I'll just add you as an admin, and then you're thrown into it.
Yeah. I've got to
Okay.
ask you a question, Ellen. Have you seen the new trailer for the Fantastic Four that dropped today?
I haven't. I'm not
When
really
does that come
into
out?
It comes
those.
out July the 23rd, I think.
Is that
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal in it?
Yes, it does. He's playing Mr. Fantastic.
Hmm.
But this one still has some footage you've seen before, but it's got some new stuff, like in particular with Galactus. And there's a certain phrase that was used in the comic books that pops up.
Speaking of the Fantastic Four, Rich Thomas returns to the morning show on Monday.
Yay!
Ella Murray, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Good
All right.
discussion. Appreciate it.
See you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.
It is 5:45.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
gotta
have to
bug
go.
out. I got to bug out. So I will be back again on Tuesday.
Hey.
Would you like to apply for my early dismissal program?
Sure. How do I do
Emily?
that?
Yes.
Sure.
And we have Baumhauers after the show. We certainly hope you'll come and
Oh,
join
yeah.
us
Gotta
over
do the
there
Baumhauers.
for
Gotta do the
food,
Baumhauers.
fun, and camaraderie, and lots of it. All
You want
right.
to cut the stream?
We can do that, yes.
All right. Bye.
Traffic continues to be busy this afternoon. We had an accident earlier.